That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Luvac left. You don't want to change from the 4-3-3.
Boom. What's going on, people? We are back again on the Joey James Show for another tactics board. This time it's coming in the form of an instant match reaction because we're back about 20 minutes or so, half an hour maybe or so after the final whistle at the London Stadium. Big up to everyone in the building. Make sure we are smashing a like upon the video. And if you're watching this on a replay, please make sure you're subscribing, liking, and doing all that stuff as well. Crazy day, G, because I'm looking at it and it's mad. On a day where, you know, City, obviously City win the day before. You got the North London derby. You got Chelsea playing also. Liverpool are the only team that really came out victors, man. Solid victors. And Chelsea lost, I believe. 1-0 to West Ham. Yeah, 58th minute. I think they had a red card to Malo
Villa.
Villa. Yeah, Ollie Watkins won against scored on the score sheet for Aston Villa. So Chelsea looking in the mud, man. United, we know about them already. Although United, you know, they had their skipper come, do you know what I mean, scored a better volley this weekend. And we're going to talk about the volley today, Keepin's volley. And then obviously, the North London derby, bro.
Mad. Crazy, that was the best game today. Best game today.
Easily.
Oh my
God.
God.
And to be fair, they messed it up, man, because trying to watch two games and...
Bro, I was trying to...
Yeah,
it was crazy. I'm trying to like there was the thing is, yeah, I don't mind it if they had, because we're doing it obviously streams and what have you, whatever everyone's actually doing to watch these games, but they need to have like a like someone was saying it. I think Quasi was messaging on Twitter and he said like you need to have like a proper service themselves. Do you get what I mean? So man can flip between the games, maybe even have like a split screen or something so man can watch. Like I don't know, man, because you know there was the North London derby, excellent game, man. I was so crazy. But then obviously Liverpool fans and West Ham fans are gonna want to watch the Liverpool game, and then Chelsea fans are going to want to watch the Chelsea game, and Villa fans are going to, it's too much, man. And again, I don't want to disrespect Newcastle. I don't want to disrespect Sheffield United, but then they're playing at 4:30. I'm like, bruv, like, I don't really, when we come off here, I don't really want to be sitting down watching Newcastle versus Sheffield United. Like, it's a bit janky in that, but it is what it is, man.
I hear that, man. But Liverpool managed, do you know what I mean, in again, another weird game. Again, another goal conceded, but Liverpool's proving that goals win games, man. So we know defenses win titles. We know that's the saying, but goals win games. And right now, that clip is fully loaded. Do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool have got the artillery. It's just whether it's a shotgun, whether it's, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? A little Mac 10. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever it is, somehow. Do you know what I mean? They're able to, do you know what I mean? Pull it off, man. Pull it off. And obviously, we decided to go live. Crazy game. Before going obviously into the game, people know obviously my predictions. I dropped the prediction. I wanted a clean sheet. I knew we weren't going to get one. And I did actually predict 3-1 and a Salah to score. That first half of the game, well, before that, what did you expect coming into this game, man?
I expected the game to pan out. Well, not pan out, because I had 2-2 before the game. But I expected that type of game, though. West Ham made it tricky, man. They made it tricky. In fact, to be honest, it is what it is. Obviously, we ended up winning the game, but they deserve to be 2-0 up. Do you know what I mean? Before we even, were able to get that goal. Had the two chances, should have buried them. On another day, they buried them, but ultimately they didn't. Obviously, this time, I thought second half we would get better, as we have done literally every single game this season. We're the second half warriors. We are the second half warriors, man. I generally, that kind of game, I genuinely expected. I just expected West Ham to put away their chances, but they didn't. And I said it in my tweet: you cannot go against Liverpool and not put away your chances. It's long. We'll score. We'll definitely score at least two. So yeah, man, and that's how it panned out for today, man.
Yeah, that's how it's looking, man. I mean, even in the Chelsea game, in the first game of the season, I mean, we should have had a second goal, really. I mean, Salah was offside by that minuscule. and you hit the bar. So we're looking at we're going to score 2 minimum every game. I don't know. I'm looking at this game, and again, it's a weird dynamic with Liverpool. I don't think we're playing that well. I don't think we're controlling games in the best way. I think that's clear because we're still susceptible to counterattacks and conceding. But there's just moments in the game where it's like that was really good. That was really good, and it might not be sustained throughout a whole 45 minutes or a whole game like it was against Villa. But these little pockets are allowing us to just stay in games, and we're actually becoming a very, very dangerous outfit, man. When I'm looking on the face of it, like, you think you've got Liverpool, and then all of a sudden, bang, goal. Bang. And where did that come from? Like, where the hell did that come from? To be on the back foot, bang, the goal. And it's a different type of Liverpool we're seeing. We do. I mean, the Liverpool team that won the league, that fought for the Champions League, or won the Champions League, was much more sure than what we was doing. There was much more control. Now it doesn't. It seems like we've given that up to have these players in our team that in an instant can go and turn a game. Great example of that is McAllister. McAllister in that game for me, and I'm going to get onto him, but I think he needs to be analysed. I think he's not on fraud watch. I'm not saying he's on fraud watch, no, but he's on a watch. He's on a watch. I'm not saying that watch is his fault, but now he's on that report. You know, like you get in class, the teacher keeps telling you, stop talking, and then there's that one day you don't hand in your homework. Yeah, you get slapped on the report. You get slapped. I'm not excluding you. Yeah, you're not getting put in IE or do you know what I mean in the learning support unit. But you're on report now because because in the actual game, I think he's struggling a lot. But great example, moment of quality. Mac 10, great vision, ball over the top. This is what we wanted to see, and out of nowhere, boom, we just go and get a goal. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I mean, the best things to do is just let's get into. I need to obviously get into the chat. Let me pick up everyone in the chat as well, guys. Make sure, please, we are smashing a like. We know we're coming up against bare other people that are doing streams, bare people talking about Liverpool. But the fact that there's 30 of you in the building, much appreciated. So please smash the like and get some more brothers involved as well. Big up to Baz as well, saying big up JJ, like secured, big up chat, smash the like, it helps support the channel. Facts, big it up. We got Bayesian Reds in the building as well, big up to yourself. We got Sick Man Gaming saying, I was watching the North London derby. I didn't even watch this game. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I should critique you, but I don't. I mean, I'm not going to get onto you for that one because it was a good game. If you didn't watch both, the North London derby was a good game. G saying smash the like. Big up to Jonathan as well, all the way in Colombia saying, let's go. Big up to yourself. We got Paul Smith saying, where's Gomez in your man of the match poll? Bro, just let me know who it is in the comments then. I can't put too many players in there. There's only 4 options, bro. So let me know. If you think Gomez is the man of the match, let me know why as well. Big up to M. Mizzy in the building. We got Frank Carlisle with a similar question. No Szoboszlai on your man of the match, JJ. Listen, don't shoot the man. There's an other category, bro. Just vote for the other category and then let me know who you think it is. Big up to K-Mac in the building as well. We got red, white, and red. Big up to yourself saying it's called a VPN. I think this is in regards to G talking about is there a way in which we can have 2 games and
I don't know about VPNs.
Yeah, I mean, we're old school, man. We go to the pub and that. We just go to the pub and that. Whatever's on the pub, we watch. Yeah, you know I mean? Big up to Jamie Phillips as well, saying Liverpool squad depth looking good, very underrated. K-Mac saying Gomez man of the match, 100%. He was boss. Jonathan saying that we need clean sheets, and we're going to get onto this 100%. We got Honesty in the building as well. Big up to Honesty saying Darwin keeping his stats up every 45 minutes, a goal or assist, but people will talk down to Darwin. That we're going to get onto it, man. We got John saying, you see Sobos, he ain't even hit second gear yet. He's just revving around the block right now. I agree, man. I agree. Big up to Jessica as well saying, gonna hear G wax lyrical about Paqueta rather than talk about our players. LOL. Just messing, bro. Paqueta was wicked. Too bad we have too many 8s. Yeah. Red and White saying it's not a coincidence that Max seems less solid with Trent out. Yeah, maybe so. I think the team does. We don't have as much control of the game. I think that's clear. Big up to LVFC as well, getting the popcorn ready. And guys, make sure we got the popcorn ready and make sure we're smashing the light. And look, starting off with the game, man. Obviously, I think you know what the best way to go and do this. We're going to go and obviously just do player ratings, and we'll talk about every single player that way and go through the game. So without further ado, let me get that up for everyone, people. And there we go. Before we get into anything, of course. What's going on there? Yeah, before we get into anything, we've got Roms obviously saying, big up to Rom saying, JJ, can you ask you what you feel of Nunez' performance? Yeah, listen, that's going to be a special segment. I'm actually going to clip it up as well, and I'm actually going to make it full screen for you, man, as well. Afternoon to yourself, LFC Aaron, as well. We've got honestly saying, where was Antonio today as well? We're going to chat about Antonio, man. We're going to chat about Antonio, and hopefully, hold on, let me see if I can zoom in and make it a bit bigger. No, I can't. That's the biggest it goes. All right, you're going to have to bear me like this, people. That's cool, yeah? All right, cool. So let's start in goal, man. Alisson at the back. What do you think of Alisson's performance today, man? And everyone in the chat as well, give me your player ratings. I need every single one of you in the building. There's almost 40 people in the building. Let me know your player ratings, please. And whilst we discuss. Alisson, man. Great save. Great save. Very, very early on. I remember ball in by Paqueta. Souček spinning off our backline looking really, really shaky. I think our defense this season, as a unit and as a team, just hasn't been great. Obviously, we've been conceding goals, but not only that, our plays seem to be all over the place. I think if us to take a still of that when that ball went over the top, I think Matip was at left centre back, Virgil van Dijk was at right centre back. You had Gomez that was at right mid next to Salah, whilst that ball was coming in. And Robertson was nowhere to be seen. And Souček was just by himself in the middle. Like, it was just mad. But that was a ridiculous save, though. It kept us in it. Because if we had went down early, I think it would have been more problematic for me. I think it would have been more problematic. A more problematic game anyway, because I felt as though, as you said earlier, Newcastle should deserve to be 1-0, if not 2-0 up, man.
Yeah, to be honest, everything you said. I think... Trying to think in terms of a rating, what I could potentially give him. I mean, outside of that save, can't remember too much. I thought he was calm on the ball. Passing was okay, distribution and stuff like that. But yeah, outside of the save, it's like he didn't have a lot to realistically do other than obviously the save in itself. But he wasn't helped. Like, this defense is so meaty, like, it's unbelievable. So I feel sorry for him. He's constantly having to barrage of attacks or worry about balls into the box. Like, he's really good at doing stuff like that. We know how excellent, Alisson is, probably arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. So, that's bread and butter to him. So in terms of a score wise, I think everything you said, maybe like 6.5, 7. Yeah, I'm good.
Do you know why I'd give him more? Do you know why I'd probably give him more? Because this defense was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I feel he's the only one marshalling this back line. I know we've got a skipper, and we're going to get onto this skipper. We've got a skipper at the back that's got the armband on, used to be the best centre back in the world. But I feel like Alisson's actually our best player. And obviously with keepers, we don't expect them, unless we're a dead team, to be tested constantly. It comes in moments, and that for me was a massive moment. People are talking about the Raya save in the North London derby. I mean, Alisson's was harder. Alisson's way harder. Right in the corner, got it out as well. And yeah, look, man. Yeah,
I'm not marking him low because I thought he was poor. By the way. I'm not basing it. Yeah, I'm not saying Alisson was absolutely fine. Like, for me, he didn't have to do so much in the game. Like, it was more that West Ham were playing more in front of him, as opposed to Alisson had to make save after save, and if he didn't make that save, listen, if you want to go higher, I really have no issues whatsoever. Like, the highest I'll go is like a 7.5. Like, I feel like 8. I don't know about 8 because I feel like with an 8. It was one fantastic save. That was it. Like, there wasn't like he made 4 of them, and it's like he kept Liverpool in it, like, at the end. But everything else about Alisson was just calm. Nothing spectacular. Wasn't amazing. Wasn't like the world's best or anything at that point. But that save is why we will call him, the best goalkeeper in the world. But it is annoying that, like, for me, he is the best goalkeeper in the world. But I'm sorry, I was trying to do this earlier on before we came on. I'm trying to think of the last goalkeeper that you would call best goalkeeper in the world who gets tested as much as Alisson. I didn't have to see Buffon getting tested 10 times a game to know that he was the best in the world. I didn't need to see Peter Cech getting tested so many times to know he was the best in the world. Peter Schmeichel, Courtois, Neuer. I didn't need to see these guys. Casillas back in the day. You don't need to, like, the goalkeepers, people need to remember, they don't need to be seen. They should be like the last thing that you see. And the reason why you're calling them world class is because they're able to pull out a save when the team is so dominant and then an attack comes from anywhere. With Alisson, I think Ish even said it in his tweet earlier on. It's becoming an every single week thing. This guy is having to pull up saves. Like, I don't know what it is. Obviously, we'll get onto tactics and stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, like it's just it's now becoming like, oh yeah, that was a good save. Like I'm not even like I should be. I'm not even rating the saves anymore because I'm just like, yeah, he does that. Like I see him do it every single week now. Like it's just one of those. But that's not his fault. That's nothing against Alisson. Alisson, for me, is the best goalkeeper in the world. So. Yeah, but, I'd say 7.5.
I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, I agree as well. That as well. Big up to Boo Rider saying Alisson's carried his defense at this moment. He is, man. At this moment, he is. Robbo. Robbo, couple last games he's been really, really good. Obviously, got the goal against Wolves, but I think he's starting to acclimatise to that left centre back role, and it's so interesting. With Kwanzaa in that defense, it's like he was a bit more defensively solid.
With Kwanzaa,
yeah. When Robertson was playing, Kwanzaa was in the last game. I feel like he was a bit more defensively solid because he had that defensive responsibility, or maybe that experience in him just told him, you know what, I've got to kind of sit back and be a bit more reserved. Robert, for me, like he was solid. He was decent. Didn't really like put a foot wrong, and I think he's on like a decent level of form at the moment. I know he didn't do anything outlandish or crazy, but he was good. He was good. I think he was solid throughout the whole game. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would say he was literally
like a seven. Yeah,
like the problem I have with like ratings and stuff like that is maybe outside of Alisson, because Alisson's the goalkeeper, so it just depends on what you kind of do, whether you're saving your shots and that. But I always feel like, for me, the Liverpool defense is not good anyway. Like in a general sense, I'm watching these games and I'm just not impressed with any of them. Robbo, Verge, Matip, Konate, Gomez, Trent, all of them. I think they're all just being poor this season. But I don't know, is that an individual thing or is that just a tactical setup thing, in terms of, because of the way that we set up, it allows for these teams, because again, defensively, he was okay. Wasn't good. He was just okay. Like, same with Gomez. He was okay. I don't feel like everyone's waxing lyrical. I feel like these guys were okay. Like, I feel like West Ham were getting themselves joy when they needed to get themselves joy in that first half, especially when they were dominating, in the game. But Robbo, yeah, solid. Yeah, 7 is calm. Like, I don't think anyone will get higher than that in that defense anyway.
Oh, no. I mean, we'll see.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll see what the chat say. Let me just change that as well. That's a 7. Then Virgil van Dijk, skipper.
Chat to me about your boy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He's another one that's on watch right now for me.
Oh, alongside McAllister.
Yeah, I think they're both on report. I think they're both on report. They're both on report, and at the end of the day, they need to report back to their form tutor, and they need to get signed off.
You need to get signed off
every day.
Yo, the amount of times when I have to keep getting that done, annoying.
That card, 100%. They need to get it signed off, because I know he wins everything in the air. He's dominant, but that back line is always all over the place. And I put it on him to be able to go and marshal that back line. And for the first goal, he's the one that was on his heels. Usually, ridiculous. Ball comes in and Verge runs in and just attacks that ball. In this situation, he's waiting for the ball to come to him, and Bowen's able to go and get low and flick the ball across, whilst Antonio's pinning Matip back. This for me is just it's not good enough, man.
Listen, and people we get onto Liverpool fans, we get onto the Netherlands. We get onto the Netherlands a lot because obviously they've been criticizing, Virgil van Dijk quite a lot, quite extensively, might I add. You know what I mean? Like at times, I do think it is a little bit crazy that they keep getting onto him. In terms of his leadership and stuff like that, I don't feel like it's too much about him as a player because they know that he's a good defender. Of course he is. He used to be one of the best in the world. But leadership-wise, this guy's not leading shit. Like, he hasn't led nothing. Like I said, but this is why I find it tricky because I'm just like, is it individuals or is it a tactical thing? That's my only real issue because, look, guys, we all watch the games, man. Like, we don't need to... Like, big up everyone in the chat. People keep saying it's the second best defense in the league. Does this look like the second best defense in the league? Like, are you watching this game and thinking a team that has had one clean sheet all season, including a game against Lask that Van Dijk was in? Are we watching these games and realistically thinking that this guy, alongside others, because he's not the only one in the defense, there's 3 other men plus a goalkeeper, but are we realistically watching this defense and thinking it looks good? Bro, this defense is like looking crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, and like I said, there's been too many moments in this season in more or less every single game, bar maybe Lask and maybe Aston Villa. Yeah, Aston Villa, where Liverpool have rode their luck like there is no man's business. Like, they should be a goal, 2 goals, potentially 3 goals down before they've even bagged their own first goal. And he's at the heart of this defense. And as Jerry mentioned before, why are you on your heels, bro? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that whole move isn't his fault, of course not. But guess what? The goal, I'm looking at you now. I'm looking at you because clearly you're not watching your man. Clearly you think that you're able to just put your foot out there and it's okay. Come on, man. Bowen wasn't thinking that. Why was Bowen ahead of you? Why was Bowen able to get, to get himself there, before you? It's just, yeah, man. Like for me, Virgil today, I don't even think that he was even like poor or anything. I just think like it was such an average game. So I would have given like a 5. That was my thinking of him still. Don't think he was that impressive at all.
I think one thing I would give him to be a bit more balanced, not balanced because I agree with you, to be fair, is from set pieces. He is proven to be a problem. Like, he's winning more set pieces than he has done in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Scoring, but it wasn't his set piece that led to
Jota's goal.
Jota's goal. Yeah, it's the Jota's goal. So, yeah. I mean, that's a positive. It means he's contributing from that regard. I think our set piece are becoming much better.
All right, I'll give it a 6 then. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, I'd probably give it a 6, but I don't think... he like, people saying, look, our defense isn't that bad. I can see the comments and we'll get into everything, people. But people talking about, the defense isn't that bad and stuff. Like, watch the game. Just watch the game.
I beg people watch the game, please.
Because no one sits there in this game and says, "Oh, we got this. We're solid defensively." Like, we're solid. Like the way we did when we won the league that season. Even though we played with a high line, it was like the ball gets played in behind and we win it so quick. It doesn't even go. Like, we don't even see Alisson more time. We don't even see him. When we drop off deep, we don't even go, and we're not a defensively solid or resolute team. We're not, because we're trying to go direct a lot, and we don't have the shape for that, because when we go direct, we're trying to go and support the attacks. So if the ball goes long by Verge into Salah, guess what? Gomez has got to go and support him. So Gomez has got to break from that back line to go and support him. But if we lose the ball in that time, then our whole team is disjointed, and a lot of the time, our team is disjointed. It is. And for me, I'm sorry, I need to start seeing clean sheets. Like, I do need to start seeing clean sheets. Because right now,
I'm asking for just one. I'm just asking for one. Like, we've got one all season. I'm sorry, but like, and this is what I was telling you when we were speaking backstage. People worry too much about stats. Stats are like, if you've never seen something before and you're trying to compare, how does this player maybe compare to that player? And that's understandable, because if you've never seen a player play, like during the summer when we hadn't seen some of these players, play before, and we were linked to some of these guys, it made sense, using stats and stuff like that. But I don't care that this is the second best defense, in the Premier League. Like, they like watching the games. you would argue it's probably like the 8th, 9th, 10th best defense, like in this Premier League. Like the way that this team defends is just it's hard, it's borderline embarrassing at times. Like, and it's a constant thing. Remember, I would understand if this is like one game, I'll be like, nah, that's maybe a bit too harsh. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It was just an off day from the lads. We've got one clean sheet, bearing in mind we have played Lask as well. So, like, it's not like we've been playing just, top teams or what, but we've got one clean sheet in the Premier League. We have conceded a goal in every other game. Like, I don't even understand how people don't see that. That's mad. That is mental.
I think as well, we need to be careful about the fact that Virgil is such a good player that you can look at a player aesthetically and feel like, oh, he's doing well. He's doing amazing. Like, he's doing amazing. It's the same thing with Thiago and stuff. He looks so good on the pitch. You think he's doing so well. But when you look at the core, like, do you know what I mean, stats, and you look at the core outcomes and results of the game, sometimes he wasn't. Sometimes he wasn't the best player on the pitch, even though he looks like it. And that's why we've got to be careful with the whole eye test things. And yeah, look, like I said, great win for Liverpool. But I think from a defensive standpoint,
the win's calm.
I think from a defensive standpoint, I rate Verge that highly that I need to see a bit more of a solid kind of basis from him in regards to marshalling that back line better. And I know there's certain instructions that Klopp's telling them to go and do, which obviously we'll get on. But for me, sometimes when I'm seeing him like jumping in and being on his heels, like for me, where's the pride in the team of trying to go and get clean sheets? It's like the team doesn't care. And for me, that is a worry from a defender standpoint. Because for a defender, clean sheets should be like goals. And they used to be like so. I'd agree with you. I'm going with 6, man. I'll go with 6 on that one. 6 for Verge. Joel Matip.
Thought he was better than Van Dijk today. I thought so anyway. I thought he was just a little bit better. He was trying to engage a bit more, obviously, with Antonio. There was a couple times he was getting bullied by Antonio, but as an overall, bringing the ball out of defense, trying to hit certain passes, I just felt like he was trying to actively do a lot more, in my opinion, than Virgil. Yeah, I felt like if I give Van Dijk a 6,
7,
maybe. Yeah. I think a 7 is calm for someone like a Matip today.
Yeah.
I generally thought he was actually like a bit like Robbo. I thought like they were just like they were solid in what they did, in today's game. Even though the defense itself was how it was, but in terms of what they were trying to do within the game, I felt like he was all right. He was all right.
Yeah, for me, it's such a weird one, man, because at times, I think Matip would benefit from Verge being a bit more progressive with his play.
Yeah.
So Matip's always the one that's being told to like drive forward with the ball, try to do it, play the ball, play the pass, play the forward pass, and of course he's got to go in and down that right hand side. And our right hand side is always the side that gets attacked because we attack so much down our right hand side. It means that's the side that's going to get attacked. So it makes sense. But for me, I'm looking at Virgil at times. I know we're going back to Virgil. There was a time like I'm watching that back line and McAllister is mad high. And there's a man on him, but he's peeled off and he's telling Virg, bring the ball up. Bring it up to the halfway line.
Yeah.
Bring it. Bring the ball. And Virg, it's like he doesn't want to step forward with the ball.
But Virg can't dribble, man. I've told you this enough. The brother cannot dribble. I don't know where, maybe at Celtic and whatever.
But did he lose it at Celtic and Southampton then? Did he leave that in his locker? When he cleared that in his locker,
let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. At Liverpool, I do never, ever. Maybe you can find like 3 clips or whatever. I don't see the brother dribble. Now, whether that's just by design, because obviously what he's really good at is that crossfield pass into Salah. The brother does not dribble though. Like, if you had to ask me to put everyone in order of okay, run through cones and that, like, who do you think is going to run through the cones the best? Virg is probably 3rd or 4th out of all the centre backs. And like he'd just be ahead of Konate because we know what Konate is about. But I would put Gomez in front of him. I'd definitely be putting Matip in front of him. The brother's not dribbling, bro. Like he's just like that. Like because of maybe again potentially just because of by design and how he is. But when you've got Matip there next to you, Matip's the guy who will bring the ball. I'm so much more comfortable with Matip doing that. With Verge, I'll be so scared. I've seen him take loose touches when he tries to dribble. Like, it's like the ball's too far in front. Like, he's someone, just get the ball down, pass. Get the ball down, pass. But he's good at that. He's got a great pass on him for a centre-back. Absolutely fantastic pass on him. But ask him to, start getting involved in dribble, and the brother's going to lose it, man. I'm not trying to see that at all. Let Matip do that. Matip's really, really good at that. And I think today, with the battle against Antonio, like I said, it was, there were times I'm seeing, Antonio tried to peel off on him and stuff like that. But I think he came through that battle, in my opinion, and I think he won that, with Antonio still. So yeah, man, I like
he did because we knew that Virgil's always going to try. Antonio's always going to go and try peel off on whoever's weaker. So it might be Robbo, it might be Gomez, it might be whoever, and he tried to go down that side, knowing that Virgil's on that side, and he's spoken about Virgil being his one of the strongest opponents he faced in terms of, so his kind of main facet isn't the best. Isn't the best. I mean, to be able to go and do that. However, Matip, he done well. I think there was a couple times where it was a bit shaky and all over the place. But I think alongside Robertson, I think I'll give him a 7 as well, like we just did as well. I think that's fair. Joseph Gomez, man, Mr. Mitoma himself. Gotta say, he did impress me. He did impress me. I think Klopp made a real good tactical tweak and didn't actually ask him to invert in this game.
Thank God.
And as a result, I think we saw a kind of stereotypical right-back performance. And, 4, 5, 6 years ago, would have been sitting there and been waxing lyrical about his performance. Now, it wasn't the Trent Alexander-Arnold performance in terms of getting forward or a Pedro Porro.
But it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be.
Exactly. It didn't need to be. And I think he stuck to his task really well. I think when we look at it, nothing really came down that side. No. When Rama was on the bench, and obviously they started off with who played
Paqueta out there, but Paqueta started moving into the middle.
Yeah, but you had to move out centre. Because Gomez was very, very tight on him. And of course, Paqueta is the type of player that you're going to get tight and he's going to try spin you. And there's going to be a couple of times he flicks it around you and stuff. But I think he kept all the play in front of him. I think he went back to. It's almost back to basics, and we saw the Joe Gomez that we saw when we won the league, where it was very, very, very. Your athleticism helps us a lot, and then not only that, you can get on the ball and you got that confidence. And I think now I'm looking at the thing. I know we were saying the 7.5 is probably the highest anyone will get. I think he was better than Alisson in terms of that, so I think we give him an 8. I think an 8 is fair because I don't know about you, but I think sometimes we need that at right back. I think sometimes we just need a defensively solid right back. And I think that's what he provided to us. And we've wanted him to be that option at right back. But fitness, form, it hasn't really been there. Hence why we've been looking at Calvin Ramsey and can this player play there? And he's come in and he's done all right, man.
No, 100%, man. I think you're right. Looking at the scores that we've given, especially because Alisson so far was the best rated player. Yeah, you probably would have to give him an 8, man. I agree with the Paqueta thing, but I also think Paqueta didn't want to go out that side anyway because he plays his best football almost in that left half space anyway. So he wasn't really trying to trouble Gomez. Not to say that if he did, he would have won because Gomez was so solid defensively anyway, but he didn't really have too much to worry about. But what he did have to do, I felt that he was it was a solid performance from Joe Gomez, man. He was easily Liverpool's best defender today. And it's crazy when you look at those scores, you'd think, oh my goodness, like the defense was really, like, obviously bar one player, the defense was really, really good. Jesus Christ, man. This is where I always implore people, please watch the game. Please just watch the game. Like there, you'll see it. Don't look at any stats. Don't even look at our ratings. Just watch the game. Watch the game. You'll come back and then obviously you'll be able to go from there, man. But you're right. That whole inverted crap. Yeah, finally Klopp is starting to understand not everything can be the same when you don't have the one player that you change the team for in that team. And you're right. Joe Gomez is a solid fullback. He's not a wing back. He's not a inverted full. He's a fullback. He's always been that or a centre back. Why we're trying to do this, that, and the third, I don't know. But yeah, today, man.
I think it is in certain games. I think having the ability for Joe Gomez to do it and having that flexibility will help Liverpool a lot. So if he's got the flexibility to be like, you know what, right now we need to go and take away. Let's say Ben Rama's playing wide, and Ben Rama wants to go and play really, really wide, right? And it's easier for him to go and stay wide. And if we lose possession, he can just stay wide and run. If Joe Gomez has the ability or the confidence or the trust of the manager to come inside like so, right, and force almost Ben Rama, whoever's following him here, to come in the middle, which means that when the opposition received the ball, they've got no outlet pass because he was covering the run of Joe Gomez. I think that helps Liverpool. In fact, I think that helps Liverpool. But again, it's not something that needs to be done every game. I know we came inverted against Wolves. Didn't need to be done in this game, and I think it was a good tactical kind of lapse.
Like he did it like in moments today, but
yeah,
as an overall, nah, man. Like he was a fullback today, and he didn't need to keep coming in. And as you said, okay, he's not comfortable. Like he's not a Trent on the ball. And obviously we don't want him to be. Well, we don't need him to be. Should I say sorry? Because obviously they're two different type of players. So he's not going to come on the ball, ping you a pass from like God knows where and pick out Nunez or Salah, whoever. Like he ain't gonna realistically do that. When I just need him to just be a defender, when I need him to be able to cover around, when the team's obviously moved in its shape or whatever. Yeah, he he's really, really good at doing that. And I felt like he did that today. Calm. Yeah, I felt like he was calm.
Yeah. One thing for me as well. I mean, speaking about obviously Trent. And I mean, not everyone needs a Trent and not everyone needs to go and do that. The system, obviously, having Trent inverted has kind of affected this man's position, I think, because he's obviously been playing as the DM. This man, Kevin McAllister, or should I say Alexis McAllister, but he was lost. He was home alone in that midfield. I mean, let me ask you what you think on his performance before I go in, because I think I've got a lot to talk about this guy, man.
I did a stream on him, man. I think I'm so unimpressed with this brother. The assist, that is McAllister right for you. Boom. That assist for Nunez, excellent. Outside of that, this guy is dead food since he came here. I've not seen anything that makes me think, yeah, this brother is so sick, blah, blah, blah. Nah, he's definitely not. You got Jones outperforming you, got Szoboszlai outperforming you. Heck, Gravenberch has come in for these game and a half, 2 games, however you want to count it, and he looks better. Like, I don't know what it is again, and this is why I'm trying my hardest not to go too hard on the players and more. Is it just a tactical thing? But then I don't like making excuses because everyone told me he can play DM, and now everyone's telling me that but he can't play in the DM position. So which one is it? I don't really know, and I actually don't even really care, to be honest with you. His own performances just look like, what is even going on? Like, why? Like, why are you here? That's what I keep asking. Like, why are you even here? Like, what are you doing in this part of the pitch, or what are you doing on that part of the pitch? Because you're just standing there not doing anything. These guys, people just running off you all the time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you're just there, not doing anything. One thing, I said it to you before we came on air, and I was telling you, everyone, I think I saw it on Twitter. They were talking about Jones, Szoboszlai, and McAllister's passing accuracy in the first half. I think it was all over like 95% for each and every single one of them. I was like, this is why it is so important that you watch football matches, because the stats that you're seeing doesn't tell you the game, because the stats would have told you Liverpool were 10 out of 10 effectively. That's what it technically would have told you. Passing accuracy was really good. They were running around. All of that stuff, they would have told you. Watch the game. I promise you, it doesn't even look like that. It doesn't even look like that. Not for McAllister anyway. And semi for Szoboszlai a little bit, but definitely for McAllister. It's not like that. Like, I'm starting to get a tad bit worried, but at the same time, let's hope that it's just one of those things. Maybe, over time it will just happen. He can't really, in my opinion, he's gonna find it so tricky to finish games off, because he's doing just a lot of just running. It sounds like the old Thiago thing again, where everyone keeps telling me about Thiago is sick at tackling. Like, I don't give a shit about your tackling. I don't care about your flipping running yards. I don't care how many kilometers that you're putting in. That's not the player that I wanted to see. And it's not the player that I think you're going to get the best out of these individuals. And obviously, as we've seen with Thiago, he just picks up injury after injury because of these things that we're asking him to do. Not saying McAllister is going to get injured as much, but we're not going to see these performances that I saw at Brighton, a player who was fantastic under pressure, the player who was playing in nice little triangles, the player who was playing in pockets of spaces, the player who can play further up the field, you know, just behind the striker. But when he's playing just behind the striker, he's making those third man runs. He's making those late runs into the box. Here, we're getting man to say, yeah, I need you to just kind of plot into that middle of the park, run around. If you can intercept, please do it. Stuff like that. All of that kind of good stuff. Yeah, if you can do that, fantastic. But in terms of him in general, nah, man, I've definitely not been impressed at all with this product. And if we had signed him for like 80 or 60 to 80 mil, whatever his actual value was, Mandem will be screwing right now. For 35 mil, no one's saying anything because no one wants to say anything for 35 million. If he was more than that, people would be screwing, absolutely screwing right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I agree with you. I think there's a lot of time that McAllister, and big shout out to N saying, look, Mac was on smoke today, sniffed out so much, snuffed out so much, and gave him a standing ovation. Yeah, I think.
Bro, I think I'll give an Ngoga a standing ovation.
Yeah, I'm not going to use that. I think if I'm being deadly honest, people keep telling me he's not a DM. He's not a DM. When does he become the DM? At what moment do we as a fan base sit there and be like, nah, he's actually the DM? So what if Klopp doesn't sign a DM for, as an example, G, if Klopp doesn't sign a DM for the next 2 seasons, is McAllister not the DM?
Oh, we did sign a DM though. Is Endo not a DM?
No. He is. But people are saying McAllister isn't a DM. If he plays,
this is what I don't understand.
No, but if McAllister plays for the next 2 seasons as a DM, does he become a DM?
Well, technically, yeah. Like,
that's my point.
No, but like just before you go on, people say he can't play DM, but then on the flip side, people are telling me, but he's played in the DM position for Brighton. He's played central midfield. He's played attacking midfield. So I'm confused. Like, so are you saying that he, like, not you specifically, for people who are saying it, are we saying that he isn't a DM? Like, what type of DM are you looking for? Like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're all looking for a destroyer or something like that. Of course he's not a destroyer. I don't think Klopp bought him to be a destroyer anyway. Do you know what I mean? He was never, ever going to be the destroyer. So I'm wondering, like, what type of DM are people thinking that he is? He can play in DM position. That is a fact. Like, I've seen him do it many a time for Brighton. So when I'm seeing him here for Liverpool, I'm baffled why people keep saying, oh, but he's not a DM. Oh, but he needs Jesus next to him. Otherwise, he ain't going to be able to lead all of his disciples and that out. Like, bro, like, can he just play ball? Please, just rise, bro. Just rise.
I think for me, the biggest issue, and obviously people in the comments, I can see you guys are saying, oh, some people saying he's not a DM, he's a 6, he's not a 6, he's a deep lying playmaker. At the end of the day, he's the brother that plays at the base of a midfield, right?
Right.
Like, let's just say that. What my problem is with McAllister, it's not his quality. It's not the fact that at times he's not going to go and sniff out chances. I think Liverpool are designed to sniff out chances. I think as a unit, the way Szoboszlai and Jones press, the way we go and tackle, the way we go and recover the balls, and we're going to get the stats up for you people, it's going to go and help, of course, everyone in the team be able to go and do their job. So win the ball back quickly, intercept, and I'm not taking that away from him. What I'm saying is, in a Liverpool team, the DM is not played through. We don't play through a deep-lying playmaker. We don't play through a deep-lying playmaker. We are a team that goes very, very, very direct. So a lot of the times for me, McAllister, he just gets overlooked. And on top of that, what happens? He's more effective on the ball than without it, right? So we're getting, in my opinion, a second-rate McAllister. That's not to say McAllister isn't decent, right? But he hasn't been the McAllister that we thought that was going to go and come in. He hasn't gone and dictated games. He hasn't gone and affected the game from an attacking standpoint up until we go and played that assist. He hasn't been making the pass to assists. But the reason being, and I think is because the way the team's structured is we need to get the ball from A to B as quickly as possible. McAllister wants to build up the ball very, very, very slowly. And unless he goes and plays a first-time ball over the top like he did to Nunez or a pass that he did into Salah in the Chelsea game, I don't see McAllister being used effectively. Now, this is not to say McAllister's dead or that we don't want McAllister. What I'm saying, though, is we are now seeing McAllister do more off the ball work than on the ball work. As you're saying, people are saying he intercepted. We'll get the stats up because people are saying he was snuffing a lot of danger out. We can get the stats up because I assure you that wasn't the case. I assure you that wasn't the case from a statistical point of view.
I don't even want to see like today. I don't even want to. You'll get up anyway, which is fine. But in a general, I don't even want to see the stats anymore. Like I'm tired of man showing. I don't care about the guy's stats because if you didn't watch it, then you're gonna say that. Like that's like me saying, or it's like when people say, "Oh yeah, watching a game of I don't know whoever kind of thing," and they scored 6 goals or whatever the case might be today. But these times, if you watch the game, you will notice that all 6 goals, might have been penalties, or all 6 goals were tap-ins where he was literally the last man on the line and anyone could have knocked it in, but it just so happened that he was the one to have knocked it in. So you'll applaud them for scoring the 6 goals because someone's got to be there to score it. But ultimately, you'll be like, there has to be context needed to apply, needs to be applied in certain situations or in most situations kind of thing. And that's the same with McAllister. Like I said, the stats, I haven't even looked. I said I didn't even want to look at the stats today. I said, nah, let's just focus on the actual game, looking at the game, as a whole, as opposed to anything else. But yeah, like these stats and stats and stats and stats to sometimes it's just like the stats should be there to back up the individual, like not there to use as the actual marker. Like, okay, the stats say this, and then you're basing your whole game on the stat. That's what SofaScore does. That's why SofaScore's rating sometimes can be a little bit weird when you watch it. Like Harry Kane got a 9 point something yesterday. Donny scored a hat-trick and got, I think, 2 assists. But if you actually watch the game, it wasn't as effective, so to speak, as you would have thought if you watch the actual game. Didn't really do much outside of the goals that he obviously scored. The assist was just a pass that he played out wide to Matisse Tell and blah, blah, blah. And this is what I'm saying. If you're not watching the game, it just looks like, yeah, the person is doing A when really it's actually B, C, D, and E. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, for me, I think McAllister showed his quality and what can happen when we go and play through McAllister. But playing through McAllister means that Liverpool will play slower. Liverpool play slower. So to go and play through someone like a McAllister, right? Even if you've got a deep line playmaker, it's like when Chelsea played through Jorginho, or like when who to go and
we saw Jorginho today.
but as an example, right? I'm giving that as an example because Jorginho plays quite deep. I'm not saying Jorginho is better than him, by the way, at all. I'm just using it as an example. Jorginho is someone that can play very, very deep. So when teams played through Jorginho, so when Napoli played through Jorginho, or Italy did when they went on that run, right? You could see the game was being dictated by him. And if he's on form, he's going to find players because he's got a great passing range. He's going to pick out the IQ. He's going to know when to speed up the ball, when to slow it down. Liverpool don't allow the player like that because Liverpool want to be very, 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 very fast. So when we don't play through McAllister, I feel he becomes a bit non-existent. So I start looking at him and I'm like, oh, but he's just been blown out. But the weird thing is, I don't see McAllister being able to play further forward in one of those 8 positions as the tactics currently stand. Because as we get onto the other players, the amount of ground that our number 8s go and cover, what the work that they have to do, the runs, do you know what I mean? I saw Jones, and we're going to get onto him, tackle Paqueta on the edge of our box, pass the ball to Szoboszlai. By that time, the ball had gone to Salah, Gomez, Salah, back to Szoboszlai, flipping passing to Salah. Salah finds Nunez in the box, and Jones is the one that's right next to him. McAllister wouldn't be able to go and do that. So we need to find an option of like, he's not as industrious as Gini Wijnaldum. We're using him in that similar role where he's not the only DM because Szoboszlai is coming deep and Jones is coming deep. But if we're going to go and get the best out of him, we need to try and play through McAllister more and not always play to Szoboszlai. And that's not to say Szoboszlai is dead, and this is what I'm trying to say, but we need to go and start to play through these players to go and see how they're going to be able to go and develop, because we're playing a game that's not his game. As people are telling me, he was able to advance more at Brighton because of Caicedo. But unfortunately, there were, if you look at Brighton's, and I'll actually get, let me see if I can get it up as an, just to go, let me see if I've got it. Here we go. We've actually got it here. So we're looking at teams, right? Obviously, West Ham here are the most fast and direct team in the Premier League. So this is this season. This is as of yesterday. So this is all up to date. The slowest and most intricate teams currently are City, Arsenal, Burnley, Brighton, Chelsea. And Brighton and Chelsea, all teams that have had more possession than the other team majority of the time in the Premier League. Chelsea have had the most possession of anyone in the Premier League. The build-up is quite fast, but it's very slow and intricate. Very, very slow and intricate. Liverpool are playing much at a higher rate. And of course, it doesn't seem like they're too far apart, but they are distinct styles, which means that his role is going to have to adapt. He's forced to go and give the ball away quicker, pass the ball off quicker, sometimes just be a rebound. Whereas before at Brighton, he can put his foot on the ball, wait for it. You know, Brighton do that whole thing where the centre backs put their foot on the ball, and they wait for everyone to come at them, and then they pass it into the centre mid. The centre mid bops it off, and then they wait there again on the ball and draw every man out, and then try go and play through the thirds. They can go and do that, and what happens? Mikas's got time. He's just got time, and they play through him. You can see it. They're doing the same thing with Dahoud. They've done the same thing with Gross. Whoever's Gilmore now, they're doing the same thing. They're getting a lot of touches on the ball. McAllister, a lot of passes on the ball, 100%. And we're trying to control games a bit more, but I still feel like it's non-existent. I just still feel like it's non-existent. And I don't know how do you think that changes, Denji?
Really, you already know my answer. Like, it's tell that manager to pattern up. Do you know what I mean? In terms of maybe... like, honestly, I don't really know whether it's managerial or a personnel thing, because you've now got the players where going forward, it's not going to be ever a problem because Liverpool are just direct, get the ball as quickly as possible to your wingers, to Salah, to Diaz. They'll, create something, blah, 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 not a problem. But in terms of build up from the back, I mean, I understand Brighton, probably the most obvious team that you could maybe throw some other teams in there, but we'll use Brighton. I understand when they do it, I don't know, like it's so obvious what they're trying to do. But with Liverpool, it's slow. It's pass at the back. It's a couple bits here. And then sometimes it's so slow that Alisson might get the ball at times. His feet he's not really adjusted his foot sometimes. So now his next pass, which is usually the pass from whether the right centre back is into him, sometimes he hasn't adjusted his foot properly. So now it's like, shit, well, Virgil's here either way too close to me or he's a bit too far back where I can't really give it to him. The left back, who's Robbo, usually on walkabouts doing his own kind of thing. My options now are going to have to be McAllister. Guess what now? If my option is McAllister, that means I'm under pressure here, because if McAllister is now your next option when he wasn't actually supposed to be, because we were trying to play the other way and get the ball forward as quickly as possible, now guess what's happening? They're attacking midfielder, they're sending whoever's in that kind of middle of the pitch, like we saw against Bournemouth with Solanke and Semenyo, I can't remember his name, like we see with James Ward-Prowse today, with either with a Bowen or Paqueta, like we've seen with Wolves try to do it, like we've constantly seen this in every game. So I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think it's a McAllister issue because I've seen this brother play under pressure. I know he can do that, but there's playing under pressure where it's a bit more calm and less chaotic. With us, it's pass it into him, but everything is so chaotic now. So when he is receiving that ball, no one else is even really set up like that too tough to even get that ball back. And if they are, everything is now rushed. Whereas at Brighton, it's literally by design why they're in these positions. I.e., I think we saw in like one of our first few games, we saw the way that Brighton will have all players in the box. Everyone's in the box so they can do their passes. So the goalkeeper becomes like a fourth defender. He then starts passing it amongst themselves. With us, and I think you mentioned it about the centre-back splitting, the gap is so large, but the ball is travelling so slow. Like so slow. And I'm just like, I don't understand. But, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think, I agree. I think it's so funny you say that because we were saying the same thing about Thiago last season. We're saying the same thing about Thiago when we're like, you know, Thiago's getting the ball, but it's like people aren't really showing for it and this, that. And it's not that they're not showing for it. It's just so much more chaotic. Hence why you've got to be a bit more direct. Like sometimes the ball just goes into Nunez. You don't know whether Nunez is going to win it or not. And then he does. And then we're on the run and everyone's running at 100 miles an hour. It obviously overwhelms teams, but it means from a possession standpoint, we're not great. And I know Enz is saying here, shout out to Enz saying, this isn't the old Liverpool. You're talking. This isn't the old Liverpool. You're talking from an old Liverpool standpoint. Saying you can see we want to control more games. The manager said this in pre-season. No, he has. Hence why I'm saying we're not doing that. We're not controlling games as much. Aston Villa is the only game that we were able to go and control. If you're conceding every single game and it's looking like a team could have been 2-0 or 3-0 up, for me, that's not controlling the game. I don't know how. That's how I watch football. You're not controlling the game, and it's not like they got a lucky goal where it was like a ball over the top penalty or something like that. There was multiple times where they could have gone and scored.
A bit like us.
Yeah, exactly. So McAllister, what ranking are we going to go and give him then? Because obviously he got the assist, a very very good assist to Nunez. 6. So if he didn't get the assist, would you have said he was the poorest man on the pitch?
Yeah. And to be honest, I still think he was the poorest man on the pitch anyway. Like even with the assist, like I'm not looking at like the assist will bump you up in terms of if we're just looking at it. Like I know MG, so you mentioned didn't Van Dijk get an assist? What does that have to do with anything? Like I don't care about that. Like that doesn't. That's a moment and a fleeting moment at that in a game. I'm looking at the whole game because he played 90 minutes, so we've got to see it. So I'll probably say he probably wasn't even. Yeah, I'll say 6. I'll leave it at 6 for me anyway. I wouldn't go 5.5. I don't know if anyone was really. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether to give him 6.5 or not because of his. I think the assist for the Nunez goal was the one that went and got us that the goal ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
If you want to give him 6, listen. If you want to give him 6.5, give him 6.5.
6.5 is calm. Curtis Jones, man.
Very good performance. Good performance. You mentioned it there about his defensive qualities. Good on the ball. He had a very good second half. Very a better second half than obviously the first half. Yeah, man. Like he was. You know what he did today, which is what I like from some midfielders, and I think sometimes you need it. He didn't do anything great, like nothing. But he had such just a solid performance where everything you did do was just like you did your job. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you weren't like over the top. Like obviously we'll notice players more when they score or if they assist or you know they do a banging skill or something like that. We notice that obviously as you would, like and as you should. But he didn't do any of that. He didn't do anything excellent at all in the game, but he was just so efficient at anything he actually was trying to do in the game. And I love those kind of performances. Like I rate those performances more than a player getting an assist. Unless you're getting like 4 assists in a game, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. Like unless it's obviously going to help us to win the game. But with Jones, everything he did was just, yo, this is solid. Yeah, I'm saying whether it's getting back, whether it's getting forward, whether it's helping out here, helping out there, boom, run it, man. And I think, yeah, he for me was probably Liverpool's best player, alongside maybe someone else. But yeah, I'd give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
I've got to be proper on board with that as well. I think Curtis Jones was about.
You could go higher if you wanted to.
I think he was an 8.5 because I think I'm not gonna lie. I think McAllister benefited from having these 2 number 8s in our team.
Yeah.
I think the amount of work they did defensively, the amount of work they did offensively, the chances they created. Jones had a goal disallowed for offside. Like he was absolutely. I mean, I know he had a shot that got tipped off the post as well, like tipped over the bar by the keeper. I think he was outstanding. And Klopp, and we've spoken about it. And I think Curtis Jones, a lot of people, argued, is Curtis Jones going to start in this new Liverpool midfield? We signed McAllister, we signed Szoboszlai, we're getting Endo. Does that mean the end of Curtis Jones, or is he going to go back on the bench? I think he's showing why he's important to what Liverpool are trying to go and do right now. Because not only does he understand what Klopp wants him to do, he's able to execute it better than, to a very high level. Not necessarily better than anyone else, but better than a McAllister, better than a Gravenberch at the moment, better than an Endo, better than an Elliott. Hence why he's able to go and stay in the team. And I think we could have easily gone and tried to sign a Manu Kone. And if we did, I don't think Jones would have had a chance really in that game. And I think Klopp was happy with that because he knows Jones is going to be much further along in his development than a Manu Kone if we were to sign him or a Kefren Turam. I think he was just all over the place. I think he was just a great player. And even from a defensive standpoint, just solid. I mean, let me see if I can actually get the stats up as well.
Like I said, man, I think, while JJ is obviously getting that, I like those kind of performances, like, especially for someone in that kind of position as well. Obviously, listen, it's fantastic if you can get yourself a couple of assists and maybe a goal here, and if these things help us to win games. But when you just put in that, like, he was the best midfielder that we had. I don't think he was the best midfielder on the pitch, but he was definitely the best midfielder that we had in this game. Like, really, really good performance, from Curtis Jones. And you know what? I mean, I guess none of us actually sat here and thought that Alexis McAllister would be playing DM. I think we all thought that he would be playing like left centre mid. But if this is how Klopp's gonna play it, right now it is Curtis Jones to lose, man. And it doesn't really look like Curtis Jones is gonna lose that position anytime soon. I think Liverpool do need to sort out that DM position though. I need to see something else. But sorry, go on.
As we can see here, people, obviously, this is the tackles. Tackles made in the game. Edson Alvarez, obviously, West Ham's number 6. Conceding a lot of, obviously, possession. Liverpool having a lot of the ball as well. Gonna obviously make a lot of tackles as well. That's his role. But you can see right up there, obviously, we see Jared Bowen, Vladimir Coufal, right back, and then a right winger. The right winger, obviously, we'll speak about him as well, about the opposition. But Joe Gomez, a right back, and then Curtis Jones out there. Most tackles by anyone on the pitch and most attempted by anyone on the pitch as well, from a Liverpool perspective. Just showing how important he was to that role. And stuff like this goes unnoticed, but I'm happy. I know Enzo's talking about, McAllister standing ovation. This is the brother that deserved the standing ovation. Because without him, there would have been a lot of other chances. And this is my point, is we've got a number 8 that's making more tackles than our number 6. So people, when they're saying, "Oh yeah, but this isn't his position," so why is Curtis Jones making more tackles then? Who's snuffing out more danger then? Like, this is my point, is that even when people are saying it, I feel like sometimes, when people are watching something, you can have an agenda in your head, but you can have a positive agenda as well. Like, you can go and watch a brother so hard that every little thing he does, you try to overgas what the player's done because you want him to do so well. Like Roms and certain strikers. Do you know what I mean?
I was just about to even say it's about like that number 9 that Liverpool have got agenda. I'll tell you right now, I've got agendas. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and people are saying also stats matter now. No, but it's, as G said, they're coupled white and red. Like, they're coupled with the performance. I can show you the stats of McAllister from a defensive standpoint that were not good. And just because he's playing in that role, I can't keep hearing, but he's not a DM, but he's not. We signed Endo and that was it. And that's what he's like. Hold on, if he plays 30 games as a DM, does he become a DM then?
It's not even that. I saw quite a lot of people, and people drop your questions in as well. Obviously, I'm assuming,
Red and White saying Jones ghosted 5.5. You see what I mean by agendas, though? Do you see what I mean? This is a perfect example of it.
But, it's not even that. What I want to know then, so I see quite a few people talking about this holding midfield. Obviously, we're just going back to McAllister quick. And by the way, I say Jones 8.5 if you're asking for my rating.
I'd agree with that as well.
McAllister. So people are saying, what do you call his position then? Like, is a holding midfielder not a DM? I don't get it. Like, in a certain system, wouldn't that be classed as a DM? I don't know. Like I said, it's one of them ones, in it. But anyways, forget McAllister. Jones, really, really good. Liverpool's best player today. He did his job in midfield, man. Definitely got better as the game went on, of course, like the whole team, in my opinion. Second half, I felt like we were a lot better in what we were trying to do. West Ham seemed to just sit off again. I'm seeing it, the theme now, what I'm noticing. Liverpool seem to be this like really dominant team. Teams gas out by that time that second half comes. And when that second half comes now, if they haven't put away their chance, because what's happening is every team is having chances to score goals in the first half, but they're not putting them away. They might score one, as we've seen, because we've conceded in every single game. They might score one, but they're not scoring the 2 and 3. The problem that you've got is, see that Liverpool attack, it's all long. If you don't score against that Liverpool attack, it's all a myth now. It's all a myth because Liverpool will guaranteed score. Salah will get some type of assist. Diaz might even Jota score to date. Like, it's going to happen at some point purely through sheer pressure. Because we can overwhelm teams so well in that second half, these teams are gassed. So when it comes to that, they're just tired. It's like when you watch these, like I saw against Wolves. This is why I never understood why people were overly gassed about that second half performance, because you literally just saw Wolves like just get tired and tired, more tired, more tired. Same with West Ham. It's like now it's Paqueta. I beg you get the ball and see if you can dribble past a couple man. I beg you if you can get a bit further. That's why he had to take Paqueta off. You think Paqueta would have come off? In no way. He had to bring on Kudus, not because Paqueta was shit. He was the best player on the pitch. But they had to take him off because the guy's legs are done now. Now he's just going to become ineffective. Antonio can't keep running them hard yards anymore, bro. It's long now. That's done for you, bro. We're going to have to swap that around. And we're going to have to try and play a different way now because you're just running. It's not worked out. Everyone's tired. Liverpool are starting to dominate more and more. They're getting on the ball a lot more and more. Szoboszlai, Jones, and whoever, they're getting on the ball, a lot more. So that's kind of the theme of what we're seeing, bar maybe the Chelsea game. Yeah, maybe even if you want to even include, that Chelsea game in itself. But yeah, man, that's the kind of theme that I'm kind of sensing at the moment. But yeah.
Do you think that's a tactic from Liverpool? We're trying to wear teams down like that? Because this is my point, is that Enz is saying that this is a Liverpool that's a different type of Liverpool. It's a different Liverpool. If anything, yeah, it's not exactly the same and it is different. But the fundamentals still seem the same. It's like we're gonna run harder than you, man. And we've got better squad depth, which means that when you man are tired, we can bring on the artillery. We're gonna go gun. It's like what it's like the meme, gun for, what? Can man go machine for machine? Can man go gunshot for gunshot? It's like, can you go gunshot for gunshot with Liverpool? And I'm going to keep spraying at that bulletproof vest. And once that goes and becomes meaty after 45, 50 minutes,
then you're going to...
Yeah?
So it's all torn in that. Like.
Yeah, it's all torn in it. The top's all torn in now. It's like, bro, I need to get a new one. By that time, Liverpool bring in the artillery and then they wear you down because we're scoring multiple amounts of goals.
Yeah. But what did I say? What did I say at the beginning of the season? What did I say about Liverpool and goals? I said Liverpool will be either top or second top goal scorer this season. It's so obvious. Like, it's like the most obvious thing in the world. Of course we're gonna score goals. But guess what? Defensively, it just looks for me But that's obviously a story and a conversation for another.
Yeah, exactly. Steven Gerrard. What are you saying?
That's actually made me laugh. He was calm today. Yeah.
I think he's our most important. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's our most important player for our system to work right.
Why do you think he's our most important player?
Because we are asking him. It's like what we said.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just wondering why.
I just feel as though Liverpool have always gone and taken games away from teams and won games and started to dominate games when he's been on form, when he's clicking individually. So if he's running back and he's winning the ball, so go back to Wolves. He ran back and he allowed Neto to skip in and Neto scores. I mean, Neto crosses the ball and then I think Hwang scores. Yeah, Liverpool concede. He's right there though. He's in the mix of it. He wins that ball. Liverpool. I mean, it's a different story. With Szoboszlai, he had to listen. He was getting on the ball. That first half, a couple of passes were obviously being mishit, underhit, running with the ball, running into people and stuff. But
okay. No, go on.
No, but he's all action. As in, Liverpool need that from him because if they don't, that right-hand side gets eaten up. McAllister gets eaten up. Jones becomes isolated. Salah then becomes isolated. And I think he's the one that's gluing everything together right now. And as soon as he picks up his performances in games, even though it's not like, I'm not saying he's getting 10s out of 10s, but it's like Liverpool require him to be at his best in order to go and thrive. And then the system works because he's got more legs than anyone else. He's got more energy than anyone else, more enthusiasm than anyone else. And as a result, we win games.
So do you think, and this is just me being silly, but serious at the same time. So do you think that it's like watching Henderson, but with more youth, better technique, but exactly, and I do mean more or less a carbon copy of Jordan Henderson, if we remember Jordan Henderson in that midfield, who would do everything you just said, he was doing exactly the same thing, running around. He had the enthusiasm. He had the legs. As you mentioned before, the passes, some of those are a little bit under hit in the game and stuff like that. But Jordan Henderson does that. And he's also done some sublime passes, perfect assists that like I've seen from Jordan Henderson, which he won't get the credit for outside of the boot thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm just wondering, because obviously we joked, we said Steven Gerrard. I'll keep it a buck. I like Szoboszlai a lot, but I promise you there is more similarities to Jordan Henderson than there is Steven Gerrard. But only because of context, i.e. Gerrard was in a team where the onus was on him, whereas Szoboszlai isn't in a team that the onus is on him to take up that mantle. But everything that you said and everything I hear, everything I see, everything I'm reading just tells me we've got Henderson, but a youthful version and better technique. Obviously, of course, he's got a better technique and stuff like that. I'm just seeing Henderson. Now, that's not a slight, by the way, because that worked. Liverpool won a Premier League, Champions League, Super Cup, Club World Cup, the whole nine with that type of midfield. Having the one brother in that midfield who almost sacrifices himself, where he said, you know what? Like, for example, I like, obviously, personal preference. I like a midfielder like Paqueta, someone who can do all of that running around stuff. But guess what? When he's on the ball, it's quite effective. Whereas I look at Szoboszlai, and I'm not saying he's not really effective, but it's very safe. It's very, let me just get the ball. I dribble a little bit, then I pop it out wide, give it to the guys who are really going to start doing things, which is calm. Again, like I said, for this system, it works because that's what we obviously need. But again, personal preference, I want that guy who's going to be a bit more dangerous kind of thing in the final third. I thought that's what Szoboszlai was going to be. See that performance from Paqueta? That's the performance I thought I was going to get from Szoboszlai, from the beginning, but we don't require it. So obviously, that's what it is for me. We've seen for Szoboszlai with maybe not Salzburg, but even Hungary, right? He's getting the balls all over the place. He's popping shots, slapping free kicks, taking set pieces, and he's got that about him, that Gerrard-esque thing about him. At Liverpool, you don't have to go and do that. Hence why you've got to be more you've got to be part of a team more so. Do you know what I mean? You've got obviously De Bruyne at City, but then everyone else in their own right is just like, they're part of a system. And of course they show their individual bits of brilliance. But even Jack Grealish, Jack Grealish at Aston Villa Jack Grealish at Aston Villa was that type of player, innit? He's like, you're doing everything. He's cutting inside, he's slapping bangers, he's assisting man, you drop him man to the floor, he's coming deep to get the ball, he's doing everything. When he comes to City, it's like, you're going to stay out there and you're going to do that wide because we've got a team that can go and do that. And Szoboszlai's coming to that team. I 100% agree though. Szoboszlai, and big up to obviously LFC Aaron saying, look, I'd say more like Oxford, more. Yeah, sorry.
No,
yeah, maybe him.
Great example. Even Henderson, right? Ox came in to replace Henderson as the 8. I repeat, Oxlade-Chamberlain came to replace Henderson as the number 8. Naby Keita came in to replace him as the 8. What did we see from Naby Keita in the German league? Very, very similar. Can drive with the ball, can run with the ball, can carry the ball, can go and win games. The profile is not too different from what we've gone and seen. I think Szoboszlai is the better I think he's better than all of them. I think you can see it, but it's not different. The role...
I don't know. You know what? I'll keep it a butt, though. I don't think so. I actually think Naby Keita was actually... would be better if he wasn't, obviously, of course, if he wasn't so injury prone. I actually think Naby Keita would have fitted a lot better than a Szoboszlai, because I actually think Naby Keita is a lot more. He's better on the ball, in my opinion, than Szoboszlai. But Szoboszlai, obviously, he's got that shot in him and stuff like that. But if you're talking about dribbling, tight spaces, all of that, yo, Naby.
Yeah, but Liverpool don't do tight. This is my point. Liverpool do transitions,
and this way it goes back to personal preference. Yeah,
I hear about personal preference, but I'm saying Liverpool don't play tight spaces.
No, but even the pressing, bro, he used to press from the front.
He did.
He was that almost that he would help out with the three when the three of them would press. He would then be that fourth person would come in there, win the ball back as soon as it goes into that midfielder right there.
Yeah, no, he will do that 100%. I get it, but I think Szoboszlai for transition is far superior. He can cover more ground. As in, like, when you've got a player that can cover ground,
Naby could cover ground though. I think he can.
Naby. I'm telling you, Naby Keita.
He's injury prone, so we never saw it.
But it seemed like it. It seemed like it, and you could cover, but it weren't the same. I think Szoboszlai, in terms of like you're talking about industrious midfielder. Like, I think there's a reason why Arsenal went to go and sign the likes of a Declan Rice. City were looking for a midfielder like that. They've got Matheus Nunez now. Liverpool are looking at Bellingham. You need that type of midfielder, and I think Liverpool had the blueprint there, but I don't think Naby Keita was the... In an ideal world, of course, I think Naby Keita, of course, would have been fantastic. I think it would have been fine. But I think Szoboszlai offers you... I don't know how to understand it. There's a bigger presence in midfield when you've got Szoboszlai in there.
Okay, yeah.
Naby Keita doesn't offer you that presence, so I think you can still get bopped with a Naby Keita in there if he's having an off day. Szoboszlai, even if he's having an off day, is going to get himself about the pitch in a similar way that and Henderson would do, as you're talking about, where Henderson might have an off day, but in terms of presence in the midfield, I'm going to still throw my body about. I'm going to get myself in between you and the body, and you're not going to be able to get it because I'm on par with you guys, if not bigger than some of these midfielders. For me, Szoboszlai, 100%, it's still that Hendo role. He's still having to go and do the same. If he comes inverted, doing all of this, doing all of that, reacting. So if he comes overlapped, he's got to come over here. Do you know what I mean? If this guy drops in deep and this guy, he's got to make a run in behind, he's still got to do the same thing. The difference is as you said, it's the technique, it's the quality. He's got more quality.
Of course, 100%.
So when he's got
I'm just trying to have a look.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, I'm just having a look at his stats from last season.
So yeah, cool. Have a look at the stats. So if we're looking here, and this is what I'm talking about, Szoboszlai as an example. This is why I think he's the most important midfielder for Liverpool. In terms of chances created, he's number 4 behind Andy Robertson. We're obviously number 5 from midfield. That's obviously way more difficult. We're looking here about attacking third passes. Do you know what I mean? 30 out of 35 attacking passes. Do you know what I mean? Ahead of Curtis Jones and McAllister. Do you know what I mean? By 10 passes. So like 8 and 10 passes respectively. So he's so influential from an attacking standpoint. We look at from a defensive standpoint, we're looking at ball recoveries. Again, 9 ball recoveries, more than our DM, more than obviously Curtis Jones, more than our right back. Do you know what I mean? Robertson very, very solid today from him as well. We can see Dominic Szoboszlai in midfield again in terms of but
then this is why, and it's good that you, like, for the stat guys out there, if you just leave this up, this is why, again, this is all purely, and obviously you kind of put me onto my man anyway about Paqueta, and I now understand why Manchester City were looking to spend big bucks on this guy, because that is what I would love to see in this midfield, because I think he'll offer you exactly the same thing as Szoboszlai, but in that final third, I feel like he'll start getting you your goals, he'll get you assists. Whereas I don't feel, and again, it's way too early. He's only played 5-6 games at the current moment in time. We have no idea how the season might pan out. He might get you 10 assists, 15 assists. I don't know. But the way that we set up, it isn't set up for Szoboszlai to do that. Like, I just don't feel like he would do that. Whereas I also then put that down to because of the type of player that you are, as well as the role that you've been given. Whereas I'm looking at Paqueta and I'm just like, right, you got the same amount of ball recoveries as Dominic Szoboszlai as well. So clearly that's showing me that you're doing something also in that midfield area as well. So again, then it just comes down to start, and that's where the personal preference. That's why I say that's just down to
what I would say to caveat that, just to make it clear as well. West Ham were the team that didn't have a lot of the ball, so a lot of the time the defensive team will have more ball recoveries. The second thing is as well is I think if Paquetá came to Liverpool, he wouldn't be nowhere near as effective if Liverpool played the system. Nowhere near as effective. Because Liverpool...
I feel like he would just do the same Szoboszlai role,
No,
which is better.
no, but I think... No, yeah, but I don't think he'd be as effective because I don't think off the ball... No, I don't think he hasn't got the speed at which, for me, Szoboszlai covers the ground. The speed at which he does it allows Liverpool to be able to go and play this transition football. Paquetá, I can see him. It's like what people are saying. People are calling him Kaka, but without the pace. He's not renowned for having pace, but he's so good on the ball. Hence why a City want to go.
But he's good off. But he is good off the ball.
No, he is. He's good off the ball. But it's the same way. And I always go and talk about, Thiago. People say he's good off the ball. He's our best tackler. At one point last season, people were telling me he's our best tackler. He's our best midfielder from a defensive standpoint. People are still getting past him because, you just can't cover the ground like that. Even Fabinho, in terms of defensively, was our second best midfielder last season behind Thiago in terms of stats when they played. He had the most recoveries, most tackles, most this. But because he can't cover ground, it's you can't get there. So those split seconds, we talk about the margins for Liverpool. Liverpool is the margins. It's, I'm going to get to the ball before you. So that's why Henderson was lacking, because before we relied on Henderson to be we can lose the ball, but we're just going to win it back faster than you. We're not winning it back as fast. And Paqueta's thriving in a team that isn't looking to go and win the ball back very fast. It's looking to stay in their shape, combine, and then go and play through Paquetá. Hence why I think if he goes to a City are going to play through him very, very slow. Hence why I go back to a McAllister. McAllister and Paquetá probably the similar type of pace. But if you play through McAllister, you're going to see the best out of him. You're going to see the best out of him. If Paquetá was playing for West Ham, we'd be sitting there being, oh, what a player, what a player. In fact, there's a player in there, no doubt, and I wanted him in our midfield. But I don't think he offers us the industry that Szoboszlai and Jones do for what Klopp wants. And if you look at the personnel of midfielder that we bought, that's what it is. So I get what we're talking about. I know what you mean 100% about what you mean, what you mean in terms of preference. I like this type of midfielder. People know what type of midfielder I go and like.
And listen, I don't ever hide. Look, I hate the way Liverpool. I think the way Liverpool plays ugly as hell. But if it works, then it works, and you just put the players in there. I think we have ballers in the team as well. That's what I think bugs me the most when I watch Liverpool, is that I don't like watching you play, but you have ballers in there, and there will be moments in games where I'll just see something like, oh my goodness, like McAllister, that assist, that ball out, because these guys have got the quality. But as an overall, I don't need to lie. I would never lie. I don't like watching the way that Liverpool play football, but if it works, it works. What can we do, man?
Yeah.
But suppose score. 8.
I think an 8, 100%. And this is my point. Is I've got to give this bread a rate. Well, minus 18. Jesus.
Hey, these are the your true feelings coming out.
Yeah, man. No, do you know what it is for me? I think with Szoboszlai, he's been like an 8 every single game, minimum 7.5, 8 every single game. And that's what worries me, is that he's been about a 7, 8 out of 10 every single game, if not more. Hence why I'm looking at it. Maybe 7 out of 10 above every single game. Even in the Chelsea game, he was probably 7 out of 10, one of our better midfielders in that game. In terms of running around, and we weren't great with the ball, but as a team.
See, okay. So this is you just said it there. You literally, and I think it's a me problem anyway. It is genuinely a me problem, and I think I'm big enough and I'm wise enough to actually understand that. The first thing you just said is, in terms of running around, there was nothing that was he's a baller. That doesn't, someone being able to run around. I know Bearman who can run around, and Henderson probably wouldn't be considered a baller if you put him up against probably 100 midfielders. If you just counted 100 midfielders, but in terms of running around, he'd be near the top. He'd be ahead of the Zidans and all them type of brothers. But if you ask man to be a baller, I'm not saying that Szoboszlai isn't a baller, but that's the first thing that you said. And it's not just you though. That's the first thing that people always mention with this guy is, the running around. It's the same thing that we had with Thiago. The same. I watched this guy go from being one of the best, having the best midfield season that he's ever had, being called the best midfielder out there alongside the Kevin De Bruyne's, to yeah, running around. He's our best tackler. Like, I'm just like, bro, I beg you don't kill that. And that's, I'm not saying you specific. I'm talking about like Klopp. Just don't kill that about the player. Like, I want to see the player that I thought we were signing, because if I start seeing this, it then just becomes like, then, as you said, he's going to literally always need to have these 8s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s out of whatever games, because the rest of them are not as good as him. So then all of a sudden, you've now got this disparity like we had with Steven Gerrard, which I guess now I can understand why people compare it, which is Steven Gerrard is literally the best. But who are you comparing him to? To fucking whoever in the midfield. Only when Steven Gerrard, if anyone ever noticed, anytime that Gerrard had someone, and this ain't a dig at Gerrard, anytime Gerrard had someone who was actually genuinely on his level, Torres, the Suarez's, they were always having better seasons than him. He was still good, but they were always having better seasons than him. But any other time, he's literally the one who's out there just 10 million times better than anybody else. There's no one else in the team who can do anything, because he's obviously the one doing it, because he's the only real good player. When you got man like Danny Murphy and Jamie Red, like,
yeah,
bro,
no,
like the midfields that we've had,
but this is what,
and that's what you're comparing it with.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it
He's
is.
the man in them, man. Crazy. Sorry.
No, it's true. I hear that. Did he have man? You know.
Bro, did he have it? Like, this is what we're comparing Gerrard to, and that's not to say that he isn't dead. But then this is what's going to happen with Szoboszlai, is that soon the level is going to become so apparent between him, and that's okay. That I don't really genuinely have a problem with that. But is that going to be sustainable for anything? Like, I just don't feel like that will.
But that's my worry. That what you just said there is my worry. Is I'm saying that even in terms of running on that first game, you could see like his use of the ball was better than anyone else on the pitch. I know McAllister played that ball into Salah, but of any midfielder we had on the pitch, his use of the ball was the best. His driving of the ball was the best. In the game against Bournemouth, he was tapping it round, man, and showing that he could do winger. He was then scoring volleys from outside the box. He's having to go and do everything. And for me, my worry is he needs to be at a 7 out of 10 minimum for Liverpool to go and win every game. He needs to come on the pitch against Lask for us to win the game.
That's mad.
Because if he doesn't, that's my point. Because if he doesn't come off the pitch, what we've done is sign a unicorn. And like from a midfielder's perspective, he's a unicorn, because I saw him play in the DM role when we had against West Ham, against Wolves. And he looked like he had played there for ages. Like that was just his position. And I didn't know that. Like I've never ever seen that from him. I'm looking at it and I'm like, hold on. I thought you're a number 10. That's going to have to adapt to this number 8 role. I'm seeing you playing the 6, and your performance in the 6 was better than anything McAllister's done in the 6. But you're not the 6. Hence why it's a worry for me that we've got a player like that, because I don't want to go in here an injury, a lack of form.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in a few years' time, his legs go, and then we're having the same conversation that we had again, like, he can't get about, you know, and we're comparing stats from this season and in 2 seasons' time, saying, yeah, I mean, he had nine ball recoveries in this game. He's only making 4 this game. That's where the drop-off is. We need to get someone else in when he's got so much ability on the ball. That's my worry. That's my worry.
So Thiago, exactly like Thiago. What we've seen with Thiago, which is now he's again. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Szoboszlai. He's still young enough where it might not even matter. But it's the same. This is what I'm saying. I just don't want Klopp. Klopp's a killer like that, man. He kills a lot of people's, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a bit mad, but yeah. I think 8's quite.
And I think what it is as well is everyone now, like Thiago as well, are just trying to go and play, like they force him, like they give the ball to him at every opportunity. It's like, I don't know what to do now. Just give it to Szoboszlai, and he's going to take a man on. He's going to spread the ball. He's going to play the simple pass. It's like he's levels above everyone else in terms of like maturity and understanding the game. He just is at the moment. At this moment,
he is. We've got high IQ.
Yeah, high. Hence why, like, he's a steal. Like Liverpool have got him. It's a steal. Let's go to left. Let's go left wing, man. Let's go to Luis Diaz. What are we saying?
What was Verge? Verge was a 6. Between 5.5 and 6. I'm trying to think.
Why 5.5? Chat to me. Hold on. Is the Diaz?
There's no agenda.
Ending today, yeah.
There's no agenda today. There's really none. I think that
pause, but look me in my eye and tell me there's no agenda. I can't,
pause. Pause. Well, I promise you, there's no agenda with Diaz. I just think that today, 1v1s, he weren't really popping. Too tough there. We can say he got doubled up. Whatever excuse that anyone wants to throw, that's fine. Just throw the excuse now. I don't really care. To me, he was just poor down that kind of side. In terms of the link-up play, I didn't really feel like his link-up play was really there, if I'm being totally honest with you, in the game. Then you know what he reverted to, which was I was literally about to message you as soon as I think he done it once or twice. I think he done it twice actually. You know what he reverted to? Old school Diaz, cutting dumb shots, like as if to say you're the guy from outside the box when we know you're not the guy from outside the box. That's what he was reverting to because he just wasn't really getting too much joy on that outside. And I was just like, I thought I had seen that Diaz go. Because I've not really been seeing Diaz do that recently. Hence why I've been saying Diaz got to start today's game. He's got to start this game. He's got to start that game, etc., etc. But today's game, yeah, I just feel like, yeah, man, like Diaz just wasn't really the one, if I'm being totally honest, for you. And you know, you don't have to have a banging game every single game. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think that every game that Salah plays is always good, or Allison plays is always good, or Van Dijk and whatever. Like sometimes he just has them kind of off games, and today was one of those games. I felt like Diaz was poor down that left hand side, to be honest with you. But it was just one of those things I was kind of happy to see him come.
Yeah, just a news announcement. I know people are obviously watching us, and big up to everyone. We've got almost 100 people in the building. I have done. Please make sure we are smashing the like. Newcastle are beating Sheffield United 7-0.
7-0.
Bruv, I had to have a look. Anyway, yeah, we got to
someone just said, you know, someone said it in the chat, like, Newcastle, no, Sheffield United are levitating or something like that. I didn't know, like, I didn't know what they meant. I'm not even looking.
Honestly, you know them scenes in films, yeah. You know when man's getting like beaten, whipped or something, like you know in them slavery films, getting to the point where like, you know, after a while,
it's talking the slave vibe, but.
No, but you know, after a while, in like the Passion of Christ, yeah, when man's not even feeling pain anymore, he just like, you know, when man gets stabbed in the heart and that, and it just goes peaceful, bro. That's what it seems like with Sheffield. It's just a peaceful, like it's peaceful now. The fans aren't. There's no moans and groans. It's just everyone looks smiling. You know what I mean? Man's drinking on his drink. It is what it is. The other day, it's mad. Yeah, I agree, man. I think Luis Diaz. I think his understanding of what Liverpool want from him has gotten better. I think you're right. I think his off the ball runs are becoming much better. I know he had that chance where Salah played him through and he made that run from out to in. And I know he just missed the ball. I think the keepers come and collect it. But you can see his off the ball runs come really well. And I think he's going to get more goals as a result because he's understanding, all right, I can get on the ball and I can do my thing. But there's also a brother that can do that on the other side. Hence why it's not like Porto where I've got to do everything. I can give him the ball and I've got to learn on my game without the ball and I can still be effective. And I think he's getting there. I think he's 100% getting there. I just don't think he was that good. I don't think he was beating his man too well. As we know, West Ham down that right-hand side are going to be solid. Soufal is a solid, like in terms of defensively, he's a solid right back.
Yeah,
so,
he is. He is.
Like, I mean, going forward, he ain't great, but from a defensive standpoint, from what Moyes wants, he's solid, man. He's solid. And, you know, when Bowen's down that side as well, you know what I mean? Bowen, he's that guy. He's that dude. You know what I mean? Bowen's that. Bowen, I'm telling you now, John Henry and everyone have pressed that number 11 and they've got that ready for Bowen, you know. It's got Bowen's name written all over it. I just know we need English quota in the team. Name me another right winger that's English. It's there, man. Whether he pops or not, but he's going to come to the team. I'll give him like a 6 as well, I think. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think six is me being generous, man. If Jerry wasn't here, these scores would be super low. But
yeah, do what it is. I want to be low, but at the same time, I want to be a bit balanced. You know, like, all right, cool. I think you were dead. Like, there's certain men I think we're dead in this team that I've got on marks, but I don't want to. You know what I mean, like, is that cool? I can see. Just keep everyone on that level, innit? Like, we won the game 3-1. No one got below a 6, innit? You know, like that. Let's go Salah. Oh, let's go Nunez. Let's go Nunez, actually.
Did he get an assist? Yeah. Well, are we counting that as an assist?
Which one?
It's either 6 or 6.
Penalty. With the penalty.
Yeah, do they count that as an assist when you if you get fouled in the box and someone scores? Does that count as an assist?
No.
Or no, is it only if someone passes to you and then you get fouled and then they score the penalty?
I don't know,
how
you
it
know.
works?
I don't know, you know, but no, he don't get assist for that. He don't get an assist. He don't get an assist.
You don't get an
But
assist. Okay.
he does get the goal. Again, obviously, great ball over the top from McAllister. Volley from Nunez. What volley was better, G?
Fernandes.
Bruno's or Nunez's?
Fernandes.
Are you sure?
100%.
Is that an agenda, G? Man, I'm saying it's an agenda.
It definitely is an agenda. Bro, we saw that. The ball over who they play? Burnley. The ball from flipping
Johnny Evans.
What do you call it? Remember, this wasn't even this was like a touch. The finish was sick, by the way, by Nunez. Like nothing take away at all from the finish, but it was just a touch kind of thing. As in, the keeper rushed out, he touched it, it went in, kind of thing. Like those are the options. This one, the ball's got to come over. He's got to literally find that bottom. Brother, it was a thing, man. It was definitely a thing. But Nunez's finish, absolutely fine. Don't want anyone to think I don't think it wasn't good, because I think it was good. But in terms of his overall game today, in terms of Nunez, thought he was super meaty today. I'm not even going to focus on the missed chance. I'll even just leave that part out. I'll even leave that one out. The goal was good. The goal was really, really good from Nunez. But yeah, I didn't really feel like he had moments, like it was like, would I say 50-50, maybe 60-40 potentially in his favor up against West Ham's back line. But otherwise, Zuma felt like he could have smoked a zoot and he would have been fine today and still been able to play against Nunez. Yeah, I really don't feel like Nunez did anything else in terms of trying to win the ball back as much and stuff like that. Again, I don't know the stats. I have not looked at the stats, so I could be way off here, and then someone's going to show me that he had 15 ground duels and won 13 of them. If so, then I'll apologize right now, and you can say I'm trying shit, but I don't even feel like that was even the case. But yeah, I don't feel like he was 8-0. Fucking hell. I don't even feel like it was. I don't even feel like it was. It was anything really that from Nunez today, to be honest with you. So I'll give him. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 for the goal. I'll give him a 7 for the goal.
I'll probably give him either. Considering our rankings, I know people are giving him a 9 out of 10 and stuff. Some people are saying he was man of the match. I don't think he was man of the match. But I think on the scores that we got, I think he's like a 7.5 or an 8. Reason being is, if I get it up here, where was it?
Maybe I should start looking at the stats. I'm gonna troll through them.
Let me have a look here. Actually, let's go and have a look, because I'm pretty sure, like, put it this way. Obviously, I was watching both games. I actually can't find the stats, but I was watching both games and I saw him tracking back at right wing to go and defend at times. I saw him holding off 2 West Ham centre-backs and like winning the ball, and it looked like he was going to lose the ball, but he came out of it. And you
6 ground duels, he won 1. 3 aerial duels, he won 1. His passing accuracy was 78%. He made a total of 18 attempts and got 14 out of the 18. 32 touches, 2 shots on target, 1 off target, hit the woodwork, 2 dribble attempts, 1 successful, 2 big chances missed in the game, lost possession 9 times, fouled, blocked shots, and was dribbled past once. But we'll take away that anyway. So again, like I said, I don't even feel like his performance was even all that.
I mean, like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie, people. You guys, I know you guys are saying, look, I'm trying to be balanced. I know you guys are saying 8.5, 9, 6. We got 9 out of 10. We got Revenant saying, look, you give him a 6. I'm not gonna lie. The stats that G just read out, I know he worked his socks off. I know he was decent. I know we won the game, right? And he scored, so it's good. He scored. We're not saying.
That's what I said. 7. Yeah, I'm not saying he's dead.
That's what I'm saying. But we've got to be honest. Those stats don't sound great. Those stats do not sound great. And sorry, we have to have people. Let's keep it a stack. We've got to have factual analysis. Like, I'm sorry, I can't have G bring me these facts and me argue anything else. It doesn't matter what I saw at that point. It's like if I told you, G, no, I'm not gonna lie, bruv. Like, yeah, Nunez played sick, you know, or no, I saw this player play well, and you're telling me, but nah, like he had 10 shots, missed all of them off target. He had 2%. Do you know what I mean? 2% pass completion, flipping. Do you know what I mean? Lost the ball 10 times. Not saying Nunez did that.
To be honest, with this fan base, it wouldn't even matter. As long as Nunez scores, this fan base will tell you, yeah, man, Nunez was sick. Like he could have, as you said, a 2% pass accuracy, whatever, 6 big chances missed, but he scores. Like it just is what it is. But that's fine though, because I don't mind that in terms of. That's why I say I don't really care too tough. And it comes to when we've all got agendas on players. Like Salah's my favorite player, so at times I might be a little bit probably not as critical to Salah as I would be to say Nunez, who's probably the one player I don't really like in the team. So everyone's got their agendas. People love Nunez, and that is fine. Like, I've got no beef with that. Ultimately, if you like the guy, you like the guy. And the thing with this fan base is when we really like a player, they don't seem to understand when the criticism comes in for said player. That's one thing that I've always looked at and thought, it's weird. You can never say anything bad. Like I mentioned about Virgil. When people were talking about Virgil, it's like he who shall not be named, like Lord Voldemort. We can't even speak of we can't even say one bad word, because if you say a bad word about the player that we all love, then it goes thing. But everyone's then got an agenda against Henderson, with the player that we didn't think performed that well. All of a sudden, everyone's piling on Henderson. Oh, he's shit. He's this, he's that, he's this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. Everyone was piling on Fabinho. Jerry just told you he was probably, stats-wise, he was probably Liverpool's second best midfielder. But everyone was piling on this brother to say, yeah, he got to go. Man's got to go. But then we love Thiago. So then I'm just like, I don't really know at times. Sometimes it's just one of those things. If you like a player, you like a player. Guys, you know I'm not beefing you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just one of them ones. I don't actually care like that. It really is not like that.
As we can go and see, Darwin Nunez obviously had 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal from that. Obviously, 1 hit in the woodwork as well. I think what Nunez does, though, and it's not about him necessarily playing like fantastically well, because I think, look, if we give him, for me personally, if we say that Nunez has a 9 out of 10 or had the 9 out of 10 performance, is this the best he's ever going to get? Is this the best performance we've seen from Nunez? That's not the best performance I've seen from Nunez.
Bro, I've seen way better performances from Nunez.
It's like this season he's played better. This season he's played better. But one thing he gives you, if we're having an argument now of who should be starting, why should this person start, and people can bear a case for it, that's completely different. That's a different agenda. And I feel like people get conflated with the idea that you're ranking someone based on the performance today, like you're judging them as an individual, as a player in general for their time at Liverpool. It's like, in this game today, he was good. He was a 7 out of 10, steady 7 out of 10. Got his goal, maybe 7.5 because he got the goal that got the equaliser. Great goal. If he doesn't get the goal, what are people still saying? 9 out of 10? This is, I feel like agendas.
Bro, it's like we all forget, but this is what I'm saying. Then we all forget. So I'll go back to what I didn't want to say. So we all gonna sit here and act like he didn't fucking blaze it bloody wide of the post when man should be at least at the ultimate minimum getting it on target. Like at the. Listen, if you don't score, I'm still calling you shit. But you even missed the whole target. Remember, he's not Haaland, guys. Man's not sitting here and able to score for me 50 goals where I don't care if you miss 40 big chances because no one's going to care because you're scoring 50 goals. This is a brother who's struggling to get numbers. So when he does get these chances, like I'm just struggling to understand, like, what exactly are we seeing from today's game in a general sense? It goes hand in hand. You missed a chance where you should have at least on target, but cool, you completely fucked it up. Then you score a goal, so it goes hand in hand, 1 for 1, simple as. That was just how I saw it. But he didn't play shit. He wasn't dead or nothing. As people are saying, he ran around. He did all that running around stuff and whatever. But in terms of his personal battles with the West Ham defense, as we saw, he wasn't winning any of them. Like he didn't win that much. He was actually losing more than he was winning those battles. So really, the West Ham defense were having a better game against him than he was there against them. Obviously, he got the goal. So you can look at it both, like I said, both ways. It's just both ways.
Like red and white. Big up to yourself because we're enjoying this convo, yeah. But saying, look, then he knocks in a worldie, but focus on the miss when the best strikers ever missed those chances. Yes, he scored a great goal. He scored a great goal. A great goal. But no one's going to tell me this was his best performance of the season.
Again, like I said,
he pressed man down. Yes, he pressed man down. Yes, he go and did this. But look, just read the stats out again, G. What? How many times did he lose possession? 9 times.
I'll find it up again, sir.
Like we're not criticizing Nunez, and sorry, a 7 out of 10 for me is not harsh. A 7 out of 10 is good. Listen, if Darwin was 7 out of 10 every single game, he'd be a world-class striker, like guaranteed facts.
Excuse me, sorry.
Facts. 7 out of 10. If everyone was 7 out of 10, if everyone in this pitch was 7, if everyone in his team had a ranking of 7 out of 10 for every single game this season, we win the league, bar none.
So I'll read out all of them. So now I've gone into FotMob, so you guys can obviously check it out for yourself, do whatever you want. Goals, obviously got a goal today. Accurate passes, 14 out of 18, which is a 78%. He had 3 shots today. Accuracy at 67%, 2 out of 3, but 2 out of 3 shots in terms of accuracy is still very, very good. Expected goals, 0.89. Expected goals on target, 1.34. No assists. Big chances missed, 2. Hit the woodwork, 32 touches in the game. 2 passes into the final third. No accurate crosses. He attempted 1. Didn't get that. He was dispossessed twice in the game. Blocks 1, recoveries 2, dribble pass 1, ground duels 1 out of 6, aerial duels 1 out of 3. Fouls committed in the game was 1 foul in the game, and possession lost 9 times.
So people, like, this isn't an agenda, and this, what do you know what I think it is with this fan base? You know, like, this fan base wants to support its players so much, right? And even though there were agendas, and I agree, like you said, there are agendas from people. It's that now there's like an agenda to anti the agenda. So it's like literally. It's like the parent. It's like the parent, yeah. You know, like the teacher will call them up and be like, "Listen, I'm not gonna lie, your son, like, he told me to fuck off today in class," and it's like, what? No, you must have done something to tell him to fuck off. How dare you? How dare you? If you told him to fuck off, he was saying it because he wanted to. And it's like, shut up. Like, yes, he's done wrong. We're not blaming the brother. We're not saying the brother was bad. I haven't even asked G. G, does Nunez start next game? G will probably tell you, yes, he does. He'll probably say, yes, he does, because he causes havoc and all of that. We haven't even got into this. I don't want to speak for him. I'm just saying. But that's my point. That's my point. We're just going and saying that. He got his goal and it was great. The all-round play, there's still chances to improve. That's not to say anything's mad about that.
Just like what Rich E.S. has just said there. That's the difference. That's the difference. Now, again, I'm not comparing the two anyway, but like, people have been trying to do it recently, and I'm like, allow Nunez, it's getting dumb now and silly anyway. Like, let Nunez just do his thing, and then he'll become his own type of striker anyway. He's nowhere near as good as a Erling Haaland anyway, because he doesn't have the same striker instincts, in my opinion, as an Erling Haaland. So those two, it's going to be difficult to really compare. They're almost 2 different types of strikers, but that is the difference. That will always, always, always be the difference between someone who's here and someone who is there. That's why we have Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. Guess what? I promise you, Jordan Henderson probably trains as hard as these guys. But guess what? There's a difference that takes these guys from here to here. There's such a massive difference. And that is always going to be the difference between, say, someone like them, or even a Harry Kane. Like, he's not better than a Harry Kane, for example. He would be someone who I can guarantee, yes, will miss chances in the season. Harry Kane probably doesn't even miss as many chances as a Haaland and a Nunez anyway. But these guys, of course, they're going to miss chances. They're getting themselves in the right areas. Of course, they're going to do that. The problem is Nunez misses more than he scores. That's the issue that we've got with Nunez. He seems to miss more than he actually scores in games. That's the problem that he's always having. It's not because he can't score, as he proved today. I've seen him score bangers against Newcastle last season. The 2 goals against Newcastle this season, like,
great example. The 2 goals he scored against Newcastle.
Fantastic.
If Nunez had done a fraction of that in this game, like, we're talking about him, like, this is why they've got Nunez on. Bang. Like, he's got that shot, he just scores it. Bang. Bang. He just comes on bang and he scores it. That doesn't mean Nunez. We're not saying Nunez had a bad game. We're not saying Nunez deserves to be dropped. No one's running an agenda. We brought out the stats whilst looking at the game. We can't be conflated with this kind of have these red tinted glasses on where we fall in love with our players all over again and feel like, yeah, Jurgen Klopp's got our Reds back. We're gonna win the league and stuff, and fall into this facade and this fake and this fake haven. And then when we come up against a test or there's a certain drop off, we're then all surprised. This guy still has a lot of development to go. If you ask Klopp will tell you the same thing. He's got a lot of work to go and do. Whether he can become that, like G just said, if he can go and get those types of performances more consistently, we're talking about a world-class striker because he's got the raw attributes there.
Exactly. Literally exactly that. And what people are saying about City, we create almost about the same amount, give or take. Like the thing with that City have that we don't have is the way that we play, and obviously the way that they play. So the chances that they are creating are more, I don't know if the right word is precise or accurate kind of thing, as opposed to the chances that we are creating are almost on the off chance, i.e. just a flash ball here. Then there's not too much going on behind. At times there is, but there's not too much going on behind Liverpool's chance creation. It's just kind of zip, ball into the box, boom, cool. The goal against Chelsea, prime example. Mo Salah gets the ball out wide. Phew, ball, Diaz run onto the ball. He gets that goal into there. City probably would never do that. City will never even need to do that because it's going to be play. And then we get ourselves, then we're going to get the chances from whether it be edge of the box, whether it be putting the ball into the box, blah, blah, blah. Haaland's always going to be there. And in regards to Haaland anyway, people are talking about Haaland scoring goals. And City got, was it over 100 goals? I'm sure they've gotten over 100 goals without Haaland, by the way, without Haaland. So City have zero problem with scoring goals with or without Haaland. Haaland being there is just, that's what you call an elite. That is the difference between him and a Darwin Nunez, is he can sniff those chances out. So chances that might not even, I've seen Haaland get onto the end of balls that man's just flashed across the box randomly, but Nunez will never go for it because he just might not have the brain to do so. Guess what? Haaland is though. Because some strikers have it, some strikers don't have it. That's just the makeup of strikers. Like it's just the way it is. Robbie Fowler was known for being a guy who can sniff something. Ruud van Nistelrooy, probably one of the best strikers in the box. Brother can sniff a chance from just random opportunities.
Do it is though. People are more griped about the fact that like, oh, you haven't been giving him like a 9.5. People are telling us that they think Joe Gomez was the man of the match. People are telling us that. So what, was he better than Joe Gomez?
Nah, I don't think it's better than Joe.
Was he better? No, he wasn't. So do you know what I mean? That good performance, better than Diaz. Do you know what I mean? Better than
McAllister,
better than everyone. McAllister better than the ball.
Same as Robbo, same as Matip.
Listen, if Nunez is 7 out of 10 every single game for the rest of the season, he'll win my player of the season, and G will probably end up with having number 9 on his back, Darwin. You know, like that.
What? How many goals? Someone let me in the chat. So how many goals has Darwin Nunez got now? What did we say? We said 30. And if he hits 30, then
I said 20, bro. We said 20. We said
no, we didn't. We definitely didn't.
We said 20 in the league.
We definitely didn't say. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Are you gonna do this,
bro? Go back to the video, bro. I'll wait here and go. I said 30, bro. Why would I say 20 in the league? I would have
because you said he wouldn't get 20 in the league,
bro.
Oh my
God. Go back to the video.
Go back to the video, bro. Someone get it.
Come on, get the video. When they get the video, then we'll see. Cool. If I said 20, then I said 20.
Talking about obviously chance creation as well. Liverpool saying Liverpool don't create chances. Well, look, we had 22 shots to West Ham's 11. 7 of those obviously shots were on target. 7 of those were big chances as well. So we created 7 big chances. We could have scored 7 goals. Like, this is my point. Big chances. If it's a big chance, you're expecting them to score. No, like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, 562 passes completed to 271, 154 passes in the attacking third. So as we said in the preview, or I did anyway, but we're going to have a lot of the ball in the final third because West Ham are comfortable not having the ball. If we get it up again and look at obviously the heat map here, we can go and see West Ham. The red zone shows where they concede the most possession, and the grey areas are where they contest for possession, and the blue areas where they get on the ball. West Ham are comfortable not to have the ball. And if you go and look at Liverpool are going to go and try and get on the ball. Liverpool are going to try and get on the ball in these areas. So we're going to always have more possession. But as we can see here, obviously 23 take-ons to their 18, 19 crosses to their 17, 29 tackles to their 32, 8 interceptions to their 7 and 12 fouls to their 13. So look, we're creating a lot of chances and trying to go and control games. I'm not controlling to the best in my opinion, but look, last player rating, man, Mohamed Salah. Again, pass into
give him like he got a goal. Obviously got the assist, all-round gameplay.
I think Nunez was better than him though, but we can't give him a 6.5. That's mad.
I was going to give him a 7. I wasn't going to give Salah a man.
But I think Darwin Nunez was better than him in this game. That's my gripe. Or do you think Salah was better?
It's a tricky one. Without Salah, Liverpool don't win the game, in my opinion, anyway. If we had Darwin Nunez or not, like I don't think Liverpool would have won the game if Salah wasn't there.
No,
so
but
Darwin Nunez is out there. Bro.
No, but that's any game, innit? That's just Salah, innit? Like,
but
you go on.
I'll give him. Honestly, I like overall gameplay wasn't really all there, to be honest with you. The problem I have with him here is, and it's something that Klopp obviously doesn't need to because Salah's so good in the attacking third, is that I beg you at least help out Szoboszlai and Joe Gomez and Trent. Like, at least help them every now and again. Like, because they're having to do bare work, like, defensively, because he never, ever helps coming back, like, the other way kind of thing. Now, obviously, today, Joe Gomez was obviously solid, but he had to be that solid because at times, like, my man's not really trying to come back and, do whatever it needs to do defensively. But I think there was one run back I saw him do when he lost the ball. He ended up then obviously winning the ball back, and then we went on the attack. I don't think he was better than Nunez, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think it was better.
So do we up Nunez or do we give them the same amount? Or
you could up Nunez to 7.5, but then put them both at 7.5. I don't think he was like any of them were an 8. Like I don't think any of the attack was an 8 at all. Like
yeah, I don't think they were an 8 at all.
Yeah, I think the 8 would have come more from 7.5 is calm for both of them. Yeah. I think they both had like a similar performance output, so to speak. Like like Nunez, if Nunez had even just put that chance away, immediately he would have just gone up to an 8. But then you just showed me, you're still that guy. Like you're still a guy I can't rely on for anything. But Salah proved again, like he does in every single game, that even his overall performances, again, that's why I said I would have gone lower, because I wasn't really that happy with his overall performance. But when you're world class like he is, and he's probably the only outside of Ali, Robbo, outside of Ali and Robbo in this team today, when he's the next world class player that you have in that team, they do stuff like this out of nowhere. Forget even just a penalty, just assist here, ball into the body. Did you see that ball that he did for Luis Diaz that Areola obviously came out and smothered kind of thing? It's stuff, little things like that he will do. Without him, no one else is doing that. I promise you for free, no one's doing that. Yeah. And then we look toothless in attack. So
I agree. I agree. Let me get the subs in. Let me see if I can get some more. How do I get more players in? Hold on, info.
I think you got like when you go to subbed. I think it's you go to subbed. Let me see if I can quickly do it now.
Oh, there we go. Hold on.
It's like you got to add them as subs. Like you got to add the subs as subs.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Here.
Yeah. And then you add them that way.
So who came on? It was Jota.
Yes.
Was Gakpo here? Jota.
Diogo.
Who else came on?
Who
else came on?
I don't know, man. The last 10 minutes, I started watching the North London derby. I was like, this game is boring.
Let me have a look here. Commentary.
We had Endo come on. Gravenberch came in. So Endo and Gravenberch in midfield.
Oh, okay. For Jones, innit? Yeah, because Jones came off. You got the standing ovation. Yeah.
Jones and McAllister came off. No, McAllister got the standing ovation.
Jones and McAllister came off.
Yeah.
Cool. Where do I? Okay, we've got the subs now. Now I can go to here. Name, ratings.
I'm looking at our subs bench here.
Hold
Gravenberch, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, Endo, Keller, Simicas, Kwanzaa, Kanate, Harvey Elliott. Why did I think it was stronger than Thiago and Trent are not in there? Okay,
Yeah. Subbed. Hold on. Jones.
McAllister.
Costa, Diaz, and Nunez, isn't it?
Yeah, Nunez come off here.
Cool.
Nunez.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how to get.
I don't know if you can put up. Maybe you can. I've never tried with that.
This actually mad. We've never actually done this, you know.
I've tried to play around with it before.
No, okay, interesting. I haven't done that. Who got the goals? He got 1 goal. He got
Salah
got 1 goal. Where's Jota? He's not even popping up.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think you can I don't think you can do it for sub players.
Ah, okay, fair.
I think I've never.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next time anyway.
But to be honest, I don't really think. Quick looking at this up, they had like 10 minutes for 15 minutes.
Yeah. What would you give Jota? What would you give them then? Like Endo, I know only got like 2 minutes, so there's no point of ranking him. He got like 2 minutes, like an academy player.
That's mad.
Like a youth player. Jota obviously got the goal. 7.
I would have said 6.5. Like it's not because they were poor or anything. It's just they literally didn't really none of them came on and did anything apart from Jota scoring that goal. But they didn't do anything in the game.
So maybe would you say they were both on 6.5 and then or both on 6? The goal for Jota gives him a 7 because we needed that third. I think he even tweeted saying Liverpool need to grab the third. I know it came quite late, but he came on and got obviously the third. And then obviously, and then keep Gakpo over 6. I think that's calm. I think that's so obviously, yeah. So yeah, man of the match for us is Curtis Jones. People, I know people are fuming with that. People are saying it's Joe Gomez. It should have been Szoboszlai. People are saying McAllister was a 9 as well. I saw that as well. So
a 9, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is, man. But look, I'm looking at it, and Liverpool for me are a team that obviously going on the up, and everyone had a decent game. I think when you look at it, if the lowest ranking that your player got is a 6, which is like what above average. If average is 5 or 6, and everyone got average or above, it means good. It means it was a good performance.
I'm even looking at it. I'm thinking, I feel like Endo. I feel like McAllister and Virg should have been on the same score because I thought McAllister was dead food, man. Like I generally thought it was so dead.
They are. Oh yeah. You know, you're
but
right.
Like obviously, if we put in, I don't feel like he was better than Virgil. Like, you know what I mean?
You're right.
You're right. That's almost then disingenuous to Virgil. Like.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, maybe something like that. You're right. You're right. So let me know. Danny, let's go through the comments. So Danny was saying Maka should have got a 7 just for assist. I don't think so.
I hear it. I don't know. I understand what you're saying.
KLFC is saying what was the reason for McAllister being a 6.5. We were debating it for about 30 minutes. So yeah, go check it out, please, in the replay. And got Kuhl saying, did Diogo, you know? We got this top 4 at least, but you know, I see you toppers. Whoa, toppers, you know.
Pause.
Big up to Plexo Gaming saying my favorite Premier League team is Liverpool. Big up to yourself, man. Big up to Plexo Gaming. Honestly, he's got the Darwin stats on hand saying 6 matches, 4 is 3 goals, 1 assist in 6 games, so a goal every other game. Yeah, he might get good
numbers. He's got good numbers, man.
Not starting as well. Good numbers. We got Ernie Copper saying McAllister was class today.
Nah, definitely. I'm not even gonna hear
that. We got Angel saying 7.5 for Salah. Kuhl saying for Salah's pen, what was that an intentional pass by Darwizi?
I think that annoys me too, the fact that we call him Darwizi. Like that just pisses me off. I'm like, why do we call him that? Like they'll give the guy a nickname, like just call him his real name, calm, you know what I'm saying? But that's my guys, I'll tell you right now, I've got an agenda against the guy. I just don't like the guy. Don't think he's a good enough player like that. It is what it is. But I have to give him credit as whoever just put up the stats there when it
Honestly,
comes to the goals and stuff.
Yeah,
honestly, because honestly, like
3 goals, 1 assist, 6
3
games.
goals, 1 assist. That he's performing in terms of he's doing exactly what I need him to do in this team in order for me to rate him anyway, which is he's actually putting the ball away in the net. For example, if he didn't do it today, plus and had that missed chance, it would be like, oh my goodness. But I have to give him credit for even scoring the second chance that he then had, because that was again a difficult chance and he put it away, man. So credit to him, 100%, man, 100%.
We got N saying, I'm not saying the stats are wrong, but at any point in the game, would you guys say Nunez needs to stop losing the ball? If yes, okay. What moments did he lose possession? Because I just didn't see. Because I didn't see. Just asking. For me, is one. He won the ball. The ball came up to him. He done decent to kind of hold it off. It looked like he was going to lose possession, and then he turned his man and he just tried to force a pass into Salah and gave the ball away. Like he just turned and just tried to force like a through ball when the through ball wasn't on for me. For me, in that situation, what I need to go and see him do is hold his man off, set it off, and allow us to go and build. And not be as direct. Sometimes he's a bit too direct in his play, especially if he's playing as a number 9 up front, because you're gonna have to play back to goal. I think if he goes out left, he's got more time to kind of get the ball and just tap it and go in behind. I think when you're coming deep to get the ball, sometimes you need to offer that a bit more kind of like a Drogba or like a centre forward play, like Bobby would do it sometimes, where he just sets it off. He's not looking to just first time passing behind all the time. Do you know what I mean? I think that's an example for me where he lost the ball.
You just read that.
Ernie saying, and the thing about stats is a few of the times he lost possession, he was trying to recover bad passes that landed behind him. I mean, I don't know, man. Big up to Colin for becoming a member as well. Big up to yourself. Appreciate it. We got Ravi saying, question, thoughts on the link-up play today? Travis at G. Do you think Nunez and Salah link up is getting better? Like their understanding is getting better?
This was the worst game I've seen their link up, but I feel like it's just there. Like it's still there, if that makes sense. Like they're still linking up, but this was the worst I've seen them link up anyway. In like all the time they've done it. We got Red and White saying Gomez inverted today too, and he did a job there. Yeah, he did at times. He did. It's like what G said. A couple of times he went in there. Angel Knight 68 saying facts. Gomez went central and went on good runs. Yeah, he did. Hence why he got a very, very good score. I think he done really well. Frank Carlisle, big up to yourself, saying Gomez can play 2 positions, centre back and right back. I just hope he's more consistent this season. Yeah, exactly. Honestly saying, hold up. The old midfield didn't get assists, and we complained about that. Now we got midfielders doing that. Is what we don't rate that. We did rate it. We don't rate it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think even G was at that. I think that's what he said the first thing. He's like, that was quality.
That's why he got you. What he would have got a 6. Otherwise, he didn't get an assist. Right, but
we got Sadiq saying, "Big up, fellas. I agree, G. However, City and Arsenal should have more in the tank and will put us away. Put away said chances." I think that's your G's volume. Yeah. We've got Ensman saying, do you feel one of the team plays for and the other is just a part of a team?
No. He's talking about Haaland. No. Haaland's a part of a team. You know, they don't play for him. They literally don't. If you see the way that City's set up in games, it's not to play for Haaland. Like, even Pep's even spoken about this, I think, before as well, about how he's just there. Like, he just happens to just be the one player that is just always there because he's such a imposing figure, like how Dominic Szoboszlai is for Liverpool. So you happen to then always be in those kind of positions. Otherwise, if it wasn't him, they would have anybody else in that position. If they didn't have Haaland, they just wouldn't be as efficient because obviously they're not as good at Haaland as at finishing. But yeah, man.
Yeah. We got honestly saying, but JJ, what do you want us to do? Not support our players? There was something bad to say about Darwin, but his overall stats don't lie. No, that's what we're saying. We're not saying he was terrible. We're not saying he was dead. His stats are
right. 7.5 is calm. Like, bro, we're not like these other channels who are giving man 9s and no, we don't do that over here, man. That's all getting overexcited about what a meaty
That's all
performance against
loose.
West Ham, bro. That's all loose, bro. Like I'm not here to pander to that kind of guys. You've known us for a long time, man. We don't do those kind of things here, man. Like we try to keep it as level-headed as humanly possible. If we think like Curtis Jones, 8.5, I think that's one of the highest scores I think me and Jerry have ever given. Like for a player rating, like we never give them kind of scores. Szoboszlai 8, Jones, what's his name? Gomez 8. I can't even remember the last time we gave that many players an 8, let alone giving someone an 8.5. But then you guys are saying 9s, and come on, man. Like, don't look at the context. There was a meaty performance, and we just about like done what we needed to do. Let's just leave it at that, man.
We got Kuhl saying, imagine Joey as our future 6. Can't wait. What, Joe Gomez?
No, I think he was saying, wait. I don't know if he's just trolling or just joking. I don't know. Hey, cool. I like you, man.
Link up is fine, but Joey in midfield is odd.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, yeah. The Ram stand saying, I prefer Gomez as a conventional right back. He's very good running with the ball, and he's a problem to get off the ball, and his delivery is decent. Yeah, I hear that to a certain extent, man. We got Angel 968 saying, let's be real. West Ham have only lost to City. They will give teams problems. In my opinion, this is our best performance this season. I don't think it's better than Aston Villa. I don't think it's better than...
It's not even close.
Yeah. We got Nunez saying, Ram saying Nunez is getting better. That's it. He needs consistency. We got Leopold saying, how many goals would Darwin score at City? How many does Haaland score at Liverpool?
Don't know, but Haaland would still score more at Liverpool than Darwin Nunez would score at Manchester City. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
But lit people, there you got it, man. So we're going to run through it again. So obviously in Alisson got a 7.5. We've got Van Dijk with a 6.5. Joel Matip with a 7.5. Joe Gomez with an 8. I think Robertson maybe a 7.5 along with Matip. I think if Matip got 7, that's calm. I think it's a 7.5. McAllister 6.5. We've got Szoboszlai with an 8. Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones, our man of the match today with an 8.5. Luis Diaz with a 6. Nunez with a 7.5. Salah with a 7.5. And then a 6 for Gakpo, a 6 for Endo, and a 7 for Diogo Jota getting the goal, man. So yeah, great. Obviously player rating. And then the last player rating, man, the manager, Jurgen Klopp. Would you say he's been on form lately?
As much as I hate to say it, yeah, I probably would say he's been doing okay still. I'll give him what do we give the players? 8.
An 8. Good team, good subs again.
No, I don't feel like the subs did anything like enough. Not like they were doing in maybe like 3 or 4 of our last.
Yeah, but the sub scored a goal, innit? That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, you could throw that caveat in there. I'll give him an 8. I think Klopp. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, 17 games unbeaten, as KLFC said. Mad. We've got 7 for Klopp as well. Yeah, between 7 and an 8 for me with Klopp. Maybe.
But I just want people to just so that we remember, for those who actually watch the game and not the highlights, you do remember that West Ham had 2 chances to score before we actually bagged our goal. Just so, in case we all forgot, we all missed it. If anyone didn't see it, just go back and watch the game real quick. You'll see it. There are 2 chances. Should have scored at least one of them. And then they ended up scoring anyway after we had then scored. So we keep up our record of constantly conceding goals in games, which, again, I don't care how many goals you think we can score this season. It's not going to continue like that, where if we don't at least get some clean sheets in a row, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be, I don't know where that takes us. You know what? I think it will take us to maybe Europa League run, because Europa League doesn't really matter. Like, you can just keep scoring in them kind of competitions. But Premier League against Manchester City, against Arsenal, yeah.
Look, we'll have to wait and see, man, because I'm not that convinced about Arsenal, you know. I know people are ranting and raving about them. Oh, they're this, that. They're the talk of the town. You've got big up to Terry.
You know what?
But Terry's loving Arsenal as well. You've got from Gary Neville loving Arsenal as well. Everyone's loving Arsenal. And like,
but
look, they play great football. They play great football. I love
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
But I'm not that convinced about them though.
But that's where
I was convinced. I'm not convinced this season.
This is what last season I'm probably less convinced. I'm probably more convinced this season than I even was last season. Because last season it was always like, because they were so new, you just knew that Manchester City were going to come out of somewhere and do whatever and blah 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 kind of thing. The thing that they've got this season is that they're becoming a lot. It's not as exciting as they were last season, but they don't look anywhere near, in my opinion, as much as they conceded the 2 goals or whatever today. But if you're watching the games that they play and the control that they have within these kind of games, I'm preferring them as opposed to when I watch Liverpool. When Arsenal seem to concede these goals, it's always like, it just seems to come out like the goal they conceded today. It just came out of nowhere. They score a goal, out of nowhere, bang. Heung-min Son, out of nowhere. It's like they just caught them off guard. With Liverpool, when you're watching us play, you're like, fucking hell, mate. Like, you're watching passages of play, like just build up. And then you're noticing that these teams are just not putting away their chances. I don't feel like Arsenal are giving them mad, like 10 or whatever chances per game. But yes, they are conceding goals or whatever the case may be. But I feel like they look a bit more assured than we actually do, regardless of what the stats would actually tell you. Because in every game you're watching Liverpool, you're like, Jesus Christ, if they do not score, then Liverpool, do you know what I mean? It's just, I just get a different feeling with them, so to speak. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Rams is right. Yeah, they got a target on their back as well.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. For me, I'm not going to lie, Spurs are my team, you know. And you see Ange, I'm loving Big Ange instead. Listen, Big Ange is the guy, you know. Listen, this guy.
I like Ange, you know. He's just different. He's just different. I like it.
What I like is, you know, because he's composed on the pitch, it filters through the team. They went a goal down. Romero got a handball. He wasn't shouting and shouting at the ref, and the players looked over to him. He just like this. All right, calm. Like, calm. What do we need to do about that? Cool. All of a sudden, they were calm about it. So it was, I don't know. It's good.
But that's what it is. You're right. Arsenal, yeah, Arteta is like, he does get like.
Did you see the way Arsenal celebrated that second goal in that? Like,
yeah, that was silly. Yeah, that was so silly from Arsenal, man.
I'm not gonna lie. There's something about them that I think they're not that team, man. They're just not that team. Like, I've got a feeling we're gonna see a very. I don't think they're gonna be up there. I know I'm not as mad to say. I don't think. I think they might be like 4th.
Listen, that's what I think Liverpool will finish, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Big up to Geordie as well, saying, away the fucking lads. Yeah.
Hey, big up Newcastle.
Man. You know, if they had scored one more goal, they would have actually equaled the biggest record, innit? For the most goals in the Premier League, which is Man United against.
In that 9-1 though.
Yeah. No, 9-0. That's that. No.
Oh, okay.
It was 9-0 that they beat let me go
Ipswich.
and see. Yes, Ipswich. Yeah.
You know them days where man, like them is it you and all them? Was that even the Muzzy? Is that era? I can't even. Hey Ram, you're the guy, man. Let me know. Is that the Muzzy? Is it era?
Yeah, G loves that Rafa aura.
Yeah, you know I like my good football, man. I'm not seeing that right now.
I hear that. But look, people, that's been the tactics board for you guys. We've tried to do that with a lineup as well. So massive thank you for everyone that tuned in. We've got everyone saying Liverpool versus Bournemouth. How many did Liverpool get? Was it 9-0?
Yeah.
Oh, so we equaled it. We got 9-0 as well.
Maybe. Yeah, I know we got 9-0 as well. Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, so we
I thought it was 9-1. I thought it was 9-1.
Ipswich. Yeah. LFC Bournemouth. Hold on.
To be fair, no. Because bare teams have equaled it.
How many teams?
Bare. There's at least 11 here, aren't there?
11 9-0s?
No, not 9-0s. In terms of 9. Remember, are you talking about the record of win or just how many goals were scored?
How many goals were scored against them? So, like, now...
Oh, scored against them? Okay, yeah. So, Man United won 9-0 against... Well, how can we forget? They beat Southampton. Remember when Southampton were losing their mad scorelines?
They got slapped. They got slapped.
Yeah. That was recently. Liverpool 9-0.
Oh yeah, that's why we did the heat map.
Leicester City.
Remember we done the 9-0. Remember when we done the 9-0 stream? That's the one.
Last season, yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see. I'll have it here on the shorts.
I'm just having a little look at like the list of like the goal scorers, man. The games. Tottenham won 9-1 against Wigan Athletic. I remember that. Jermaine Defoe scored 1, 2, 3, 5 goals. Man, like Cranshaw.
This one.
That heat map really depicts the cause. Oh, Sugar Plum Fairies. Yeah.
Remember that heat map?
Yeah.
That was a heat map, man. Yeah, I remember that one. Man.
You man got some good memory.
Yeah, shit, man. Big up to your souls. But yeah, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, for the tactics board and the instant match reaction. Please make sure we are smashing a like. Like, we need all of you guys to smash a like. We're trying to go and get to, of course, 200 million subscribers. So please make sure we are smashing the like, subscribing as well, hitting the notification bell. The more we like, the more people see the video, the more people can subscribe, so we can get to, obviously, our goals and our targets. So thank you so much. Before we head out, G, is there anything you want to obviously let the people know?
What we got coming? I'll do a match reaction at some point. I'll drop it some point this evening, potentially. Rest of the week. It's funny that Salah obviously got that. He's now assisted or scored in the last, 12, 13 games. I said I wanted to do a stream because I know a lot of people are talking about whether they think Salah could replace or could overtake Steven Gerrard's legacy at Liverpool. I think that's a very interesting conversation. It will obviously depend on, I guess, what happens by the end of this season. So, yeah, man. Let's that'll probably be at some point this week. So I'll schedule that and get the guys in on that chat. And then we can talk about Steven Gerrard versus, and we can have a real conversation. None of this emotional crap. Let's have a real conversation about, these players. I got my answer. It'll probably shock you, to be fair, but yeah. Go from there, man.
There you go, man. There you go. And big up to everyone in the building. Big up to Jay Kisman, that's obviously joined, in as well. But thank you so much, people. Make sure we're staying tuned tomorrow because there'll be some news tomorrow, some content tomorrow from ourselves as well on the Jerry James Show and obviously on GTV. But until next time, people, have a great evening. It's 7 o'clock, so sit back, relax, bask, and whatever you got to do. It's been the Jerry James Show, and we are out. Take it easy. Boom.